Hey, y'all. Welcome back to another What Else Is Going On podcast episode. Y'all, remember the video? Now, this is coming out on Tuesday. Remember the video that I did? What day is it? Saturday, and told y'all that I was going to have a guest on that y'all would love, that a lot of y'all probably follow her. You probably already know who she is. And if by chance you don't, you should know who she is. We are on this Zoom, y'all. The devil thought he had us this morning, but we got away and we are recording. She is looking as gorgeous as she wants to be. And you know, it's always a pleasure. Listen, I am a woman that loves women. I love women. I love Black women. I just love women in general. And I feel like I can find beauty even in ways when their eye may not behold it. However, I will say this particular person is as gorgeous in person as she is online. So it's like, that's not a filter. This is really her. Y'all, she is funny, smart. That New York accent comes out when she gets in it, when she's giving them hell about Married to Medicine and on Potomac. Y'all probably know her. If not, you will love her. Welcome, Bonnie Scotch. I am a Scotch Bonnet. Welcome to What Else Is Going On.
Oh my God. I have to have you introduce me everywhere that I go because that was like the only confidence booster. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Listen, if y'all, for those of y'all that are watching, y'all can see Bonnie, and clearly you can see she's a number one stunner. And when I met her in person, it was like, oh, I'm getting the bonbon I get on video.
That's how I felt about you. I was gagged because I was like, y'all, Taria is gorgeous, but her presence is just so radiant and she's warm and she's funny. But y'all, Taria is fine. I don't know what the people, Taria is fine in real life. And just like your whole presence, I was blown away. So when we connected, I was so grateful because I already felt connected to you. But I was like, when you meet people in person, it's like, I don't want to be weird or nothing like that. But I really like this person. So I'm just glad that you felt the vibes. It was mutual. It was definitely mutual.
Because like you said, I have found, especially since 2020, you know, with the pandemic and all, you know how people date and to get to know each other. I feel like it's like friendships like that too, right? But I feel like you end up some of the people that are closest to me now have been people that I met like 5 or 6 years ago because we established a connection talking, and you find it's easier to reveal things about yourself via a text or via a voice note, like a situation comes up on a TV show. And you may say, I remember when I was going through that, and you've learned something about that person. Yes. So then when you meet them, you feel like you know them because you kind of do know them. But
we've built community in this space.
Yes.
And it's been a really interesting ride for me, like these past couple of years, but I'm really grateful for the connections that I've made. And, I don't know. It's been like extremely humbling too. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I have to think about the things that I want to reveal about myself. I'm always thinking about, do I want to share this? Do I want to reveal this bit about my life? But it's like, it's vulnerable. It makes you human. It does connect you. And then I share that thing that I'm like, oh my God, I'm cringing. And then somebody comments and they're like, hey, this happened to me. This happened to my cousin. And I'm like, okay, now I'm glad that I shared this. So yeah, like I'm here for community. I love that about YouTube and about the internet specifically. So I'm grateful. Yeah.
Me too. Well, speaking of, revealing. So me and Bonnie we were literally talking, and then we were talking about like Black sayings, because so basically what happened was I was talking to my husband earlier, and I got our recording time wrong. I was trying to be cute. I was like, oh, I might work today later, but I'm off this morning. I got stuff to do. Let me make him some coffee. So him and I are joking back and forth. So this whole time I'm telling Bonnie this story, I didn't know he was here because he had told me he was going to the gym. I thought he had left. So he says, he comes downstairs, and I said, oh, Bonnie, he's still here. He says the back of my neck was itching. So I was like, what does that mean? He said somebody was talking about me. And I said, that's not it. I think it's when your ears itch. So then I was asking Bonnie, wait, what is it? And Bonnie said, I don't know. There's so many Black sayings that we have, which led me into this. What is your like top 3 sayings from our ancestral lineage? Because I literally threaded, what is something from our ancestral, because I want to say it right, because I want you to get the full. I don't even know what I threaded. So I said, hurry up. Child, and see, I didn't thread it so much, child. I'm always talking about something. That's the problem. So I said, y'all, what ancestral belief / saying has you in a chokehold? I'll go first. I can never leave my purse on the floor. My grandma will come back and snatch it off the ground, put it on a table or a chair, and remind me why I better keep it off the ground. So different people were saying different things. So what are things that still stick with you in your mind that you've been told?
Okay, that's a great question. For sure, the pocketbook on the floor is a big no, a big no. Another thing that I feel like Black folks specifically are really big on, um, this whole business about your outside clothes.
Ciao.
Outside clothes, okay?
Bonnie, that's a good one.
We're
That's
not
a good
big on
one.
the outside clothes in your bed. Even when I come in the house, I don't want to be like on my couch, like where we're lounging and in my outside clothes. It's like I
That's
want
a
to
big
be in
one.
my pajamas in my house. So it's like we have house clothes, we have outside clothes. I love that about Black people.
That is, yes, yes. Oh, that's a big one. Sitting on the bed.
Yes. You're not going to sit on your mom's bed, on anybody's bed in your outside clothes. Somebody offered me a seat on their bed one time and I had on my outside clothes and I was like, no, thank you.
Like,
And
I'm
it was
not
their
gonna.
bed. It was their bed. So it's just like, it's one of those things that's ingrained in me. But I think too, Black people, it's hard to, I wish you gave me this question because I probably would have come up with a list
I
for you.
should
But
have.
the thing about Black people is just, we have so many things and so many sayings and so many beliefs and suspicions, not suspicions, superstitions across the
Yeah.
diaspora. Um, One thing that I love about us is like, we all have like a rice dish. You know, the South Africans, Caribbeans, everybody has a rice dish. Everybody has a red drink. Also, I love Black specific insults. Like when somebody says that something is trifling, you know that only a Black person is going to call somebody or something trifling. Okay. Also, I love like when you're standing on a line at a bank or like a grocery store somewhere, you're always going to hear a Black person say, now this don't make no damn sense.
Yeah. You know
It's
what?
certain Black isms that are just
Yes.
like, you know?
I like that. Black isms. You are so right. There are certain ones. And I love the way we compliment. Like, for instance, I
Yes.
love your glasses. So come on, glasses. You know,
Yes.
like I know you've probably seen this floating around the internet. It's been on the internet for a couple years, but this person said that they work at a place that's majority white folks. And there's another Black man that works there and he wore a cream turtleneck. And she said, come on, Carl Thomas. And they just started laughing because they knew.
But you have to be a Black person, I think, who grew up in a specific era to know that Carl Thomas knit turtleneck cream
You're
sweater.
right. You're right. You're right.
It's so specific. So yes, like Black people, we have so many cultural nuances that I adore everything about us. There's this, I'm gonna send it to you actually. There's this guy who was like Black History Month and he had like a whole list of like all of these things, but he was like to the whoop de whoops and the da da da's. You know how like Black people describe
Whoopty
something?
whoop. That is
Yes. So he was like happy Black History Month to the whoop de whoops and the da da da's. And I was like, yes.
I
Yes.
love that. And we are, I think, I don't know if we started it, but we have sure taken over. Make a long story short, 30 minutes after the
Absolutely.
story.
Absolutely.
I think it came from the church house. I'm not going to be before you long. Okay, we're going to be here 2 hours.
Or you be on the phone with somebody for 2 hours and it'd be like, all right, girl, well, I ain't really want nothing.
me and
2
my
hours later.
me and my girlfriend, I said, why have we spent half a workday on the phone? This is too much. Saying the same thing over and over and over again. Or if I'm on the phone with my mom saying the same thing we probably
Yes.
talked about yesterday. Yeah,
Yes.
there's just something about Black folks that it makes you, back in the the times of slavery and them not being so free. And in our minds, we can't conceptualize how they were ever able to be happy about something, but it's our spirits that can't be broken. So just little things like that make us feel a sense of community. I can imagine that is what got them through their belief system and the sense of community that they had with each other to be able to sing and laugh. Because you would think, how could you even laugh? How could you have any joy?
They took away our drums and we used our hands to clap, The thing is too, I was listening to like a clip from a podcast. I can't remember the name. It was a young lady and a gentleman, but the gist of what they were saying is that Black people have made poverty cool because everybody thinks that everything we do is cool. And it's like, we don't want to be eating this stuff. It's like, we got the scraps and the slops and we made it look lit. We made the grits and the bacon and the hog and whatever, like we made that look appealing. So all of these, the oxtails, that was like scraps, didn't nobody want. So now it's like the highest price, like it's $20 a pound or whatever now.
Wow.
So it's that. It's they could never break our creativity. Girl. And they can never break our humor. We always gonna make a joke out of something. We always find a way to joke about it. So yeah, we make everything lit. We bring a certain kind of energy to everything that we do, and that's why we're still here. So happy Black History Month.
But you know what? Happy Black History Month. Something you said, and I've been wanting to touch on this, and I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about it. You actually segued into it perfectly. Please tell me. I have had it pulled up on my phone. Here we go. So you talk about how we make the best of everything, from the oxtails to the scraps they give us, and we always make things look good. And I think about the saying, they want our rhythm but not our blues.
Right.
And I came across somebody talking about, because I pulled it up, so I wanted to get it right. I didn't want to give just paraphrasing, but the Tignon Law. So it's spelled Tignon. It was a law passed in 1786 that required free Black women in New Orleans to wear a headscarf called a tignon. The law was intended to control Black women's dress and suppress their creativity and self-expression. And it said the women reappropriated the tignon as a symbol of rebellion by embellishing the head wraps. So not only did they wear the head wraps, they put jewels, fabrics, feathers, and then the white women then they tried to like model it. So it's like, here, y'all complained about our hair. So y'all made a law that it had to be covered. And when Black women took it and ran with it, then it became like inspiration for y'all.
As we tend to do in every space. I mean, I talk about this with my best friend all the time about, we didn't grow up with our parents buying us Jordans and designer this and that. Like my mom was like, you can get one pair of Jordans and that's all you're going to get. You know what I'm saying? Everything she bought was on sale. We always figured out a way to make a little with a lot. And I was shopping at the beauty supply store. I was getting the little Chinese slippers or whatever, wearing them to school. That was our little style, our little hood stuff. So to see our little hood stuff in the magazines and it being reappropriated and it's being sold for $300, I'm like, girl, we got that for $5 at the corner store. And we bring the fashion, we make things look lit. And the crazy thing is, on us is ghetto, but on them is high fashion.
Come on, you better talk, girl.
Why is it always that? But y'all always looking for everything that we doing. Y'all stay in Black women business.
And let me tell you, I said they want to talk about the different. I'm a lip gloss girl. Like I said, I was one day gonna come out with my own lip gloss line. There's something about a lip gloss to me. It makes me. To me, lipstick is the shoes to your face. So for me, when my outfits may be plain, but I like to have a good shoe and a good earring. So for me, that's what lipstick is to my face, even if it's a plain face, whether it's a purple or red or what have you.
You want that nasty red lip.
Listen, I love a red lip on a Black woman. And let me tell you, they talk about their high price Dior, this and that. Some of that lip gloss and lip stuff from the hair store, child, you can use it as gloss and your baby edges because it's so daggone good. and
That part.
pigmented, and it's
That part.
$2.99.
But see, you see what you just said there is what Black women do all the time. We will take something and we will innovate it. I see the genius in Black women all the time, casually on YouTube. The way they do
Yes.
these quick weaves, the way they
Girl,
will figure out a way to create edges if they don't have any. It's the wildest shit I've ever. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
you can
cuss.
say whatever you want to say, every whatever you want to say.
Okay, but
This is
I think you get what I'm saying. The greater point is that Black women will figure out a way to innovate and engineer all of um, these different apparatuses to make beauty work for them.
yeah, yeah.
And it's wild watching it happen in real time, happen on TikTok, happen on YouTube. I'm just glad that Black women have gotten a chance to really flex their creativity and their innovations in these spaces because they don't get enough credit. They
They
really, really
don't.
don't. And
And
they're at the forefront of these trends. It's always us. Everybody's always looking for what we doing. Stay in
and
Black women business.
and we don't gatekeep when we can, and sometimes when we should. And I don't mean gatekeep from each other,
Right.
but there are times
Exactly.
when you almost feel. I'll never forget a couple years ago, this thing came out of called oh my gosh, those of y'all listening, y'all might be screaming. It's called something with your face. Oh my gosh. Basically, when your face is wet, sealing it with Vaseline. I've been doing that for
Same.
years. So
Same.
it's like
Yeah.
slugging. That's what they called it,
Okay. Yes.
slugging.
Yeah.
I said, slugging, you mean what? We just upgraded our parents from putting it on us, where they just slapping it on dry skin, to we now put
Hmm.
it on wet skin. And I got that because my daughter suffered with eczema, and the doctor was saying Vaseline keeps moisture in, it doesn't
Yep.
put moisture in. So
Right.
make sure your skin is wet. Da, 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 da. So then when I saw slugging, I said, I know I'm not reading that right. Then
Hmm.
I see something about baby bangs. I said, so y'all calling edges? There was literally an article on the discovery of baby bangs. Then there was a white woman who came out. She had invented something for women to keep their hair from breaking. Girl, it was like this bonnet. I have to show the article. It's about 4 years old. I was like,
Oh,
I'm
y'all
not reading
making
this.
bonnets now.
And even down
Okay.
to Travis Kelce, when he was dating Kayla and had the lineup, people were going in asking for the Travis Kelce. You mean a fade? But to his credit, he was like, no, 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 no. I didn't invent that.
Okay. Okay. All right.
But it's just so interesting that that's further proof. Like you said, we will have something and they take it. Weaves, they use weave as an insult, but they call them hair pieces for them, the soap
Yeah.
opera stars that used to use them.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it's so interesting. As Black History Month comes to a close, I just want to send a message to all my beautiful Black people and specifically my Black sisters. Y'all, we're going to keep going, keep fighting, and keep enjoying our peace during this administration. And stop
Absolutely.
asking, where is Kamala? Y'all didn't ask where any other vice president is.
Correct.
Leave our good sis alone.
Correct. That part.
It's like,
Heavy on that.
like
Yeah.
we can rest. I'm so tired of seeing people, and I said I was going to move on, but I'm tired of people saying, Black women, we need y'all. We need to stick together
Y'all don't need us because y'all never listen in the first place.
because we did our
So
job.
how much muling do y'all want us to do? No, y'all voted for him and y'all fix it.
I was watching a TikTok. I should have sent it to you. It was a woman it was a Black woman, and she works at a space where majority white people are, a sales space. And she said her manager said to her, like out of the blue, must have realized it was Black History Month and was like, and I just watched this last night, and she was like, "Oh, it's Black History Month. Is there anything like you want to say?" Basically, like on the sales floor, like, is there anything you want to talk about? I wish she had answered it differently, but what she said was, no, but if and the manager says, "Are you sure?" And she said, "If I come up with something, I'll let you know." She said she's had planned on not saying anything, like, "Girl, get out of here." They're on the sales room floor. It's quiet. The manager comes out and says, "Well, guys, it's Black History Month. Is there anything anyone wants to share?" She's the only Black person, and one of her white coworkers pointed to her and said, "I bet you she knows some things." The way I would have told them all, "Oh, so you want the only Black person in the room to do the emotional labor of teaching y'all something about me when Google is free and
Correct.
shut them all down. First of
Correct.
all, it would have the manager wouldn't have made it that far because I would have stopped her then.
Let me stop you right there. Okay.
My mouth was open.
Yeah.
Like, are you serious right
It's
now?
wild. It's wild. It's wild.
And it's
Yeah.
the middle of Black History Month. Like, even if I'd have had that thought, maybe have a conversation one-on-one with her. I'm sorry. And I hope this doesn't come off as offensive. It just hit me. But
Right.
to put me on the spot to teach y'all something.
They don't understand that more than anything, we want to be left alone, especially during Black History Month. Just leave us alone. Leave us to our things. Let us celebrate our Black things and have our Black conversations. It ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Y'all stay in y'all's business. You know, whatever Farrah Fawcett is doing and the women of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, y'all have y'all's culture. So just let us have our things. That's it. We just want to be left alone. I really don't think it's that hard.
It's
And
not.
I was talking to my best friend about this the other day, but I'm just like, the gymnastics that they go through, it's like, okay, y'all brought us over here for all of this free labor. Okay, then free us, and then y'all don't want to live around us anymore. Okay, so segregation. Okay, cool. Then y'all grandkids want to move into our neighborhoods after y'all done segregated everything, and then y'all raising the prices again. So it's all of this back and forth. Y'all can't even make up y'all minds. It's like, do y'all not want to be around N-words? Do y'all want to be around? Like, I can't. I don't. It's like, girl.
Yes. I say all the time, it's interesting when Black people just want their own spaces, they say we're not inclusive. But I've noticed, and I said this to a friend of mine who is a white woman. I said, notice you can know. I'm sorry, not a friend of mine. It was somebody I was talking to in the DMs, and then she finally got it. I've talked about all Black HBCUs and things like that and how I love them, whatever. And she was like, oh, that's exclusivity. I said, do you feel that same way about women's colleges? Oh, I didn't think about it like that. Exactly. People are all for throw like a girl, fight like a girl, argue like a girl, which I'm a girl power and all that. You understand it when it comes to let's exclude men, or let's not even exclude, but can we make this an all woman space so we feel safe? But it doesn't dawn on you because you're so used to not being excluded that maybe Black women want their own safe spaces as well. You can't conceptualize that, but you can conceptualize the other. And I just don't get that.
Ever conceptualize being the center of everything. When they're not centered, it disturbs their entire equilibrium. Like, they cannot comprehend that they won't be centered. They can't.
Yeah. Well, speaking, you had mentioned Beverly Hills. You don't watch the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, right?
I have been watching Beverly Hills, actually, and I started to watch a little bit of season 10. I'm trying to get a little bit of context for these ladies. I'm at the season where Garcelle started, but I probably need to go back to where Sutton came on, is what I'm thinking.
I can't stand her. So let me tell you, I know the people on my channel are like, girl, we get it. I'm never going to eat up off her neck. I know people didn't like Crystal. Were you at the season? You saw the season Crystal started?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no, I didn't see the season that she started. I only saw the season after Garcelle started. So last season, pretty much.
Okay.
Last 2 seasons, yeah.
So Crystal started, and all in the press, because it was, the whole, amplified Black voices, amplified non-white voices for Bravo, basically. So they hire an Asian woman to be on the show. It is already set up through no fault of her own. The headlines: first Asian woman, first Asian woman, first Asian woman. So people want to say it's not about race, but the network, to me, puts the women in a precarious position. Because the viewers, the type of viewers you have that are going to say they're trying to make it all about race. But Bravo, the network, is using the headlines to appeal to the other side, saying, oh, yes, we're glad there's integration. To me, I have always said, I don't mind the all white cast if that's authentic. Don't bring somebody in that's not authentic to them. If they authentically have a Black friend or a woman of color friend, bring them in. But because to force that narrative,
I don't need it.
I don't need it. They went on a vacation. They went on a girls trip. Crystal and Kyle were talking about something to do with Crystal being Asian. Kyle says, what was that like? And Sutton says, like it was an experience I think that Crystal was having. So Kyle was like, "Oh, like wow, like what was that?" Sutton says, "We're not going to talk about that because I've been called racist before and I'm uncomfortable," and shut down Crystal sharing her Asian experience when the conversation had nothing to do with her. Girl, I'm gonna find the episode so you can see it. When the conversation had nothing to do with her. And then when Crystal tried to tell her again, like the next day, like talking about her father and his experiences as an Asian man, and he was trying to get gas and was basically chased away, and she had never seen her father afraid like that. Sutton again brought up people thought that she was racist. So she doesn't want to talk about that. So when Crystal wanted nothing to do with her, she sat in her face with a face roller, crying and talking about how she was hurt. So many people, and
you're kidding me.
So many people,
you're kidding.
Oh, I can't stand Crystal. But outside of that, they were not looking at this white woman shutting down this woman of color's experience when she was asked about it because she was uncomfortable. So for me, Sutton is that woman. We see whenever she has an issue, it affects the entire group. They have to coddle her. There's a different set of rules for her. So for me, I never gonna ease up off her neck ever. I'll give her her things.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So the thing for me, I actually liked Sutton until she said something to Bose that showed her dirty.
Come on, say it. Say it.
I said, now, I can't remember exactly the conversation. I could be wrong here, but I think Bose was saying something to Sutton about you weaponize something.
Dorit situation against her.
Correct. Now, when Sutton came out of her face to say, "Oh, you're so articulate," I said, now hold on a minute. That is the microaggression that lets me know right there, because what is the implication? Oh, you're a Black woman, so I assume that you would not be articulate. So why are you going out of your way to point out that this woman is articulate? What else would she be?
Knowing her background.
Words. Now, when Southern people talk to Black people in a certain way, my mind starts going to a different place.
Mine too.
I start going. I go back to a time that I didn't even exist. My mind goes back there. I think it's like some recessive ancestral thing that you feel when you hear white people talking crazy. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. My family is from Tallahassee, Florida, Wakulla County. I know exactly what you're talking about.
You get
it. It's when I'm laughing so hard because you said it goes back to a time you weren't even born. And I have made the comment, to me, it goes back to white sheets and burning crosses. And I didn't experience any of that. But I know my grandmother couldn't drink out of the same water fountain and she would never talk about it. It made her upset. They would never talk about it. My grandmother, not my great, my grandma. So,
we're not that far removed as everybody tries to make it seem.
No, we're not that far. So when you said that about Sutton, and also even to take it a step further to show her entitlement and to show how she views herself, let's just say somebody says, oh, maybe she was just complimenting Bose's style of speech. Okay, take Bose's color out of it. Why would you have to say, before you come in with you were wrong, it hurt my feelings? I just want you to know, first of all, it's like a condescending. You speak so good, but now I'm going to let you know where you're wrong. You didn't even have to say that. You articulated your feelings.
At all.
If she was so articulated her feelings well, then you would know that she wasn't coming from that place of trying to hurt you. She was just coming from a place
like Sutton was calling her a smart mouth negress and all of that book learning. You know, like you know how they say things in a certain way, all that book learning you. And now I'm not gonna say it. I'll send you a voice note when we're done.
This channel is, you are free to say whatever. I know what you want to say.
But I think she wanted to call her a smart mouth negress.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a word that I can't say up here, but it gave me that. Also, I'm very sensitive to family dynamics and friendships and things like that. And I do believe that a lot of the times friends do feel like family. They become your family. They're the family that you chose. And I feel like with the family that you choose, you do want to protect them. And I don't feel like she protected Garcelle from Reba. You know your mother, you know your mammy is from Augusta, Georgia, is a certain type of white woman that is born in that era, in that time, in that space. Okay? She might have evolved a bit, but those core things about her have not changed. You know who your mother is, right?
Yep.
I don't think that she should have invited Garcelle to her mother's house, number one. And number two, when Garcelle was saying to her, "Oh, I'm going to speak to Reba," and she's like, "Oh, what are you going to say to Reba?" You could have shut it down right there because you know your mother.
I would have told somebody, don't say nothing to my mom. I implore you, do not say anything to my mom because it's not going to go well. I know. And I'm telling you, if you say something to her, be prepared for what she's going to say back. That's how you protect your friend. I would have said the same exact thing, but she likes that because did you see Tuesday's episode when Garcelle told Boz, stop being Garcelle's mouthpiece? And all of a sudden she got this smile on her face and was like she likes people coming to her, coddling her.
Right. So but you're right. Garcelle, you're definitely Sutton's mouthpiece because why would you feel like it's okay to go to somebody's mother that you don't even know? You don't have any relationship with this lady. You don't know her from a roast beef sandwich. That's crazy that you think that you can speak on a dynamic that is, Sutton is 60 years old. A 60-year-old dynamic, you're going to come in here with your black self and speak to this 80-something-year-old white woman. Garcelle, be very serious, girl.
That's what
so serious.
And you could see, people keep saying, we see how Reba treated. It's funny when people are talking about Reba, they're saying, we don't know if she's racist or if she's just a Southern white woman. But what I will say is we saw if Kyle wasn't there, then maybe you could say, but I'm looking at the difference in the way she treated, not even her saying you're beautiful to Kyle, because beautiful is in the eye of the beholder.
Right.
But the way she treated before the conversation she had with her, it was like, oh no, ma'am.
The way she treated Avi, the way she spoke to him was so completely unnecessary. So if you're gonna be nice to everybody except for nice to Kyle or mean to everybody except for Kyle, that already tells me what type of time you're on. Of course she's mean to Sutton. That's her child. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I had something else that I really wanted to say and I forgot about it. Hopefully it'll come back to me.
I'm sorry if I made you forget.
No, it's not you. I should have written it down. But this was a comment that I got. They were saying that the Black women on this show are going out of their way to do all of this emotional labor on behalf of the white women. And I thought that was such a great point. Look at Bose going up for Dory. You don't know these women. You haven't taken the time to really get to know Kyle. Now, Kyle is a lot. I don't dislike her though. Kyle is, let me tell you something.
Oh, this is our first fight.
No, I'm just joking. In her white woman bag. She had that bang. It was like blown out. When white women look like white women. When they got that good blowout and they just look, Kyle looks so sickening to me.
She does. She looks good.
She looks so damn good.
Yeah.
Her hair looks great. And seeing her with Mauricio too kind of made me sad because they were happy at that time. So to see where they are now, but she was saying, the comment was saying the emotional labor that Black women are willing to do on behalf of these white women. And then specifically Garcelle with Sutton, you're willing to put yourself, in a position to be,
her spokesperson.
Like, you're willing to put yourself on a line to be spoken to crazy by somebody's white mom. Like, you're willing to endure racism for the sake of your friendship.
And I was going to say, and even off camera, when Black women love you, they love you. And I have no doubt that her and Sutton are real friends. So she's also willing to get it from the audience. Because the audience don't give it enough to me for the microaggressions and the different things that Sutton has said and done over there. And Sutton does not go to bat for Garcelle like that. She sits there quiet.
Really?
Yes. So I'm like, okay, so you also have to, when you catch up, you not only do you have to watch the episodes, you have to go watch the after shows. Everybody else has an after show. And Sutton said that Bose was angry Where have we seen Bose angry?
I'm trying to recall a time that I've seen her angry. I personally don't remember. If you could remind me, then
She's expressive. She may be loud, which is what we all are. Talk with our hands. Da, 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 da. She's never been angry. Some of these women have
she
yelled at
seems
each other.
very calm and even.
Yeah.
Sutton and Dorit and Kyle are always the ones that are flying off the handle to me.
Come on.
Sutton goes from 0 to 100 really quick.
I say that she's
So,
the Southern Belle full of Southern comfort because she always got a drink in her hand. So
and she don't like nobody to say it either.
I cannot wait until you catch. Okay. So you're at season 10 because that was, you said that was Garcelle's first season, right?
That was Garcelle's first season, yeah.
Okay.
So this is the season with Denise Richards is in there, and her crazy ass man is in there. And at first, I liked him because he's very doting and he's taking care of her and whatever. And I thought he was sweet at first, and then he started getting wild with the ladies. I said, "Now hold on, why is he talking to these women like this?" And then when he told her, "Don't tell me not to talk. I'll break your hand. I'll crush your hand." I said, "Now wait a minute." So I got to doing my Googles. I was like, wait, because I wanted to know, were people going crazy over this online when it happened? Because I didn't see anything about it. I wasn't tuned in. And lo and behold, it was a lot of different articles and people speaking about how crazy this was. Yep. Apparently, he's getting sued. There was a lawsuit that came out a couple of months ago because, he does that radiotherapy, whatever.
Yes.
So somebody was saying, we did these treatments with him. He promised us that the cancer was going to go away. We paid $100,000, whatever. He promised that if it didn't, if you didn't get your results, then I would refund you half of your money. And the lady is like, I want my $66,000 back. Yes, honey.
He's out here promising cancer results.
Yes.
I mean, it's one thing to say you believe it will help.
Mm-hmm.
Girl.
Yeah. So I was going down the rabbit hole as I've been catching up on this show.
I love this for you.
It's never enough time. I was actually off from work last week because I was a little bit sick. I had to take some time off because of some things going on with my anxiety, and I just wasn't feeling that great.
I meant to text you and ask you how you were feeling because I watched your video and when you touched on a little bit about it. So I hope that you're feeling better and moving in a good direction.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that. But it wasn't enough time to catch up on everything that I wanted to because it's so much TV.
Yes.
And then I'm also trying to watch some reviews here and it's not, when you're a content creator, people don't understand that your time is just not set up the same anymore.
No,
time is just a concept when you are a content creator. It's not real. And
one that loves to consume. I've always been a consumer of content. So I consume a lot of content. Yes. There's never too many podcasts, never too many YouTube videos, never for me. So I get it. Like you said, and then you have to remember, in my videos, I will often quote other content creators because I don't ever want to fall into a space where I say something and it's like I'm taking credit. But there are times when you'll be like, did I think of that? Or did so-and-so? Oh, no, that was so-and-so. So
it happens.
You consume
I try to be good about that too. Saying Rodney the Voice said this.
Yes, shout out to cousin Rodney. Yes.
Erica De Niro.
Diva.
It is important to give people their credit. It really, really is. But I get what you mean. Sometimes we do it starts to mesh after a while, the thoughts. And I'm like, wait, did that come from me? Yes. Did I say this or did I hear Rodney say that? I love Rodney.
Me too. I love him so much. I was low-key stalking him and he finally, not finally in that way, but I was finally was able to have him on the podcast last April for my birthday. That was the best birthday gift. Rodney is so funny. I told him, I said, and I met him at BravoCon. I said, you low-key be in the bed with me and my husband at night. Cause every time I would listen to a video, he would say, is that Rodney? And then my husband started saying quiet as it's kept. Cause Rodney's sexy.
Yes. My mom loves him too. Yeah, she'll come here on the weekend. She'll be like, what's Rodney up to? What's Rodney saying? She's not like that about any other YouTuber. So Rodney is her guy. And my mom is very critical. She's very picky in particular. She loves her some Rodney. So
he is. I told him, I said, I'll be arguing back with you and you don't even know it. But now, like, we exchange numbers at Bravo Con. So every once in a while, I'll send him a voice note, like, but he's just, there's something about, even when you don't agree, they can light up a
Yes.
space, and that he
Yes.
can light up the space that he's in. And I love that he is he doesn't mind sharing his feelings, like being transparent about different things,
Right.
just like, I just love that
Yeah.
the Rodney we see online is the
He's a
Rodney
real
I feel like.
person. He is
Yes.
a real
Yes.
person. He
Yeah.
just
Yep.
shows up as himself. I really appreciate like the times that he gets emotional.
Me too. That's what,
And
yeah.
it's made me feel like I can be my because I'm a big crybaby. So now I'm just like, look, if I gotta cry, I'm just gonna do that. And my audience, they don't say anything. They be rocking with it. They be like, Bonnie, I cried with you. Blah blah blah. So it makes you feel, when you see other content creators being themselves, it makes you feel like you can be your more authentic self.
Yeah, because that's what they want. I feel like you can't have it. Consumers of content can't have it both ways. You
Right.
can't have it. I don't want you. I don't want your emotions involved, but I want to know more about you. But I don't want your emotions involved, but I want you to be the real you. It's like I'm not separating the two. My emotions go
Those
into
things are in conflict. Yeah.
yeah. So I love that. And also, I will shout out Rodney supportive. It's been supportive. Kempire, DJ Richie Sky, like the Brooke Ashley, Black content creators
Yeah.
supporting other Black content creators.
Absolutely.
I just love, love, love. Like I said, I have so many going across. Like, oh, there's Bonnie. Up, there's Erica. Up, there's like I got. And listen,
Yeah.
y'all know I do gig work, so y'all be with me all day long, especially if I'm like delivering and don't have any rideshare people. Oh,
Yeah.
y'all are spending full work days with me. Sometimes I'll see y'all post a video and be like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna be working this time to this time.
Yeah.
Saving that for
I'm the same way. Like, however I can squeeze it in, because I'm actually a fan of YouTube and YouTubers. I'm a fan of other
yes.
content creators.
Yeah.
So I try to make my rounds and show everybody love in the comments and things. Like I can't get to everything, but I do try to make my rounds and show people
Yeah.
love, because it is important to build community amongst each other. I
Yeah.
think
And
that's
not just be like a
very important.
figurehead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tamar
Yeah.
Braxton is a lot, but there's one thing I will say about her. She has, ever since she's been in the spotlight, she always talks about her fans and how I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my fans. Like she has,
Yeah.
no matter what other ways she's been, she always acknowledges that if it wasn't for her fans. So, and I'm saying, so if it wasn't for people supporting our content, we wouldn't be, you know what I mean? Like we may
Yeah.
be making it, but who would be seeing it? So I'm always grateful
Exactly.
for everybody to support us. So I am so excited for you in Beverly Hills. Okay. I will say, so you're on season 10. Have you watched any of this season? Well, you watched a little bit of this season because you saw that
I'm
was
I'm
in.
all current on this season. I've seen every episode of this season, so yes.
Okay. Can I just say, I love seeing Bose and the Black people that she's bringing to the show. Like when she came to Dorit's house, I said, who are all those Black folks with her?
Yeah.
Like she is
Yeah.
bringing like, and I feel like I don't know her, but I feel like she's being herself, even though I
She
don't.
doesn't code switch.
Yes, that
She doesn't code switch. She's how she is in white spaces and in Black spaces, and that is refreshing to see on TV. She
yes,
doesn't put on some type of act around these
yes,
white women. She is settled in who she is, in her womanhood, in her Blackness, and that's how she shows up in every space. And it's really admirable. It really, really
yeah,
is. That's what like made me connect with Bose. I was like, oh, she got her 40-inch bust down. She's like, she's very, very Black.
yes,
She's very,
very.
very Black. So I appreciate that. I do feel a little bit
Come on, I know what you're gonna say.
conflicted when we're dealing with mixed, right? Mixed cast, like Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Miami. It gets a little dicey when you mix the Black and the white women and the Black and the white Latinas, because something always happens. Something, I don't know if you watch Miami, but
Yes, I
Larsa
did. Yep,
with Gertie
yep,
broke. So
yeah,
if Miami comes back, I'm gonna be on Larsa's ass. I'm gonna be on her head.
when I tell you, I cannot. Oh, she's one
Can't
person I
stand her.
don't never have to see again. Like, you can go ahead because you date the men, but the women you don't. Well, let me hush. You date the
Hello?
men that look like Gertie, but you befriend the women that look like Kim Kardashian. But
That part.
so who? Okay, what do you think about Keely Bose's? Because I'm
Oh,
getting a lot
yeah.
of. Are you packing up? Not the fan. I know.
Now listen.
Come on, because I don't want to say it.
Oh, all right. I hate it when a woman is smart and powerful and educated in every way imaginable and has it going on in every department. But when it comes to a man, it's like you're airheaded. You don't have nothing going on up here. It's like all common sense goes out of the window, and it makes me very sad because for me, it's like I'm seeing a woman who is willing to self betray and put her body
Mm.
at risk, put herself in harm's way for a man who's not all the way in the way that she is. I feel like she's 100% dialed in and he's 25% dialed in. And that's an issue for me that I can see that.
Oh, right.
That's
As
an
a
issue
viewer,
as
right?
a viewer. So I'm like, girl, you're 48, and this man is talking about, oh, let's have 3 kids. Girl, you're 48. What are you talking about? What are you
Like,
even saying here?
yeah.
Y'all are discussing children, and he hasn't said, I love you.
Come.
How are y'all in business already after 4 or 5 months of knowing each other? That too is a little bit, I don't like that.
Yeah. And
I
what it
think
to me, you're bringing a child into the world together actively, but y'all don't even live in the same space. Is that fair? Like, so how is that going to work? Is he going to have the
right,
child on the weekends? Is he going to have, not saying that y'all have to be married or live together, but I mean,
right.
you got to fly to see each other.
It's just really strange and perplexing because I don't think that she realizes that this man, like, it just gives me that he is trying to ride her coattails.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
she is the one, she has it going on. She's Barbie, he's Ken. He's like this tag along. He's trying to like insert himself in her world. You're in Ghana on a trip with your
Ooh,
daughter. Why did he have to go all the way on an international trip to interrupt mother-daughter time?
that's,
That is
said
so invasive.
Ghana. Is there a Ghana in the United States that I don't know about? That's like an hour flight because you flew where?
And we're not going to act like, that's a cheap flight to just casually book for somebody. So I'm almost pretty certain that she did probably pay for that, which is another thing for me.
Mm.
Um, I don't like any of it. And it actually turned me off from Bose quite a bit.
Wow.
I want to see women being worshipped and pampered and spoiled. I want to see soft life only. I want to see princess treatment only. I don't want to see none of that other shit. I don't want to see no struggle love, no ghetto love. Well, if it's like warm and good and like and fulfilling for the woman, then it can be
Yes.
ghetto. But
Yeah.
when I say ghetto, I mean
I
like,
know what you mean. Like,
you know what I'm like
yeah.
when it's like,
Rashida and Kirk and
correct,
Mendices
correct.
and Yandy. Yes.
Y'all got too much going on. Y'all got a lot of dip on your chip. Where's the princess life? Where's the soft life?
Especially after she retired. She's retired. So you don't even
Oz
have
is
to like.
retired.
I'm pretty sure she retired like from her business because when the first time she met Dorit and Dorit it was like ooh and like talking about what they did. I believe she's retired from her corporate jobs.
Yeah.
She still
Okay.
has her workshops and stuff. So like you said, it's where is that like where is the softness, the like, her being treated like a princess from a man or a queen from a man.
Where is it? I just feel like across the franchises, it's something common that I'm pretty seeing with these women being mistreated. Now, look at Wendy and look at Eddie.
Yeah.
Remember when she just casually mentioned, I want to start this business, and he wrote a $50,000 check for her, just like, here, babe.
Yeah. Go ahead. And the
That
way
for
he looks
me,
at her.
the
Yeah.
way that man looks at her, like, listen, if my man is not the Gomez to my Morticia, I don't want it.
I know that.
Give me Gomez or give me nothing. Because the way he used to be on her body,
When he said at the Karen's Lagoon, when I say come to the edge of the bed, I said, wow. Yes.
okay?
When he said, I'll be
So,
scared. Oh, I'll be shy. Yeah. So, well,
hello?
speaking of Potomac, unless you have some more with Beverly Hills that you
Oh,
want to
no.
talk about. Okay.
No, I
But
think,
we have to keep this. Now we're going to have to be checking in with Bonnie since she is starting her, like she's in the current season, but still going back and getting context. So this is going to be fun for you. Speaking of Potomac, thoughts on the season, then thoughts on the reunion, thoughts overall. Just lay them all out.
yeah. So Potomac started off very promising, I think. I went in optimistic after saying that I wasn't going to watch it, and I was like, you know what? Let me get in here and sing for my supper and get my coin on YouTube.
Come on.
So, as we're going through the season, it's not really delivering for me because I just feel like there's a disconnect with these women. I don't believe that they're truly friends. It's a lot of frenemies, it's a lot of alliances. And in a lot of instances, my best friend says this, but I don't know that the chemistry of the cast actually works because I think a part of it too is like this age gap. Like if we had all younger women or all older women, I think it could really, really work. But the old format of Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of SLC, Real Housewives of Potomac, the older seasons, I think it worked because a lot of these women had a certain kind of delusion about them. And I feel like now they're too on. They like Wendy is very aware of the camera. She's very aware of social media. She's very aware of what is being said. So she kind of
Yep.
molds herself into what she thinks the audience wants. And I think that is a little bit of the issue with Wendy. Now, Karen is fully in her delusion. Okay. I'm disappointed in her, but I'm not surprised at anything that she gave this season. Really. I think that this experience should be humbling for her. But then again, she didn't seem that humble because the fact that she came back, she had on this white knit dress at the reunion and she had her hair done and she wanted to stick it to Wendy one more time.
One more time. To me, looking like she was in the arms of an angel. Because I said, that's not Karen. Who is that lady?
Right. Right.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go to the sentencing next Thursday or Wednesday.
Wait, you can do that?
I think it's open. I got the ad. I'm pretty sure you can go. It's only 51 minutes from my house.
The Montgomery County sentencing?
And then Tally Ho is 11 minutes away.
Shut up. Child, low-key, we need to go do lunch at the Tally Ho.
Yes. Well, so I don't know if you know who Really B is or Shade in the City. Okay. Okay. They're in the area also. So Shade in the City was like, we should go to Tally Ho for lunch. And Really B was like, we need to make a field trip. So that would be a thing of like the DC, the DMV, even though y'all call us, y'all don't count Baltimore. So the DMV and Baltimore, we should do like a little trip to Tally Ho.
Oh yeah. We definitely should make like a little,
have
like a little field trip, a little content creator, a little vlog.
We're gonna make that
would be really, really cool. And also I guess I didn't realize that or didn't remember that Really B is in the DMV. So we should do like a content creator link up. When it gets warmer. Yeah, we should figure that out.
Okay, we'll figure that out. We'll put something together. But so
okay. The other thing too, we have our new players. I think Stacy is a good addition, but the whole TJ business kind of didn't really pan out that great for her.
Y'all, wait, I'm gonna interrupt you. Bonnie wore Stacy at at Campfire's After Dark tour.
Oh my
Bonnie
God.
got up with Bonnie. Please let the people know what your question was to Stacy. Stacy, and that wig almost slid.
Oh my God.
Everybody in there was cracking up.
Now, I
Please let the people
didn't
know.
mean for it to go. Like, I started off with one intention and then things went off the rails because I wanted to tell her how I really felt, which was I am a fan of you and I think you're beautiful and gorgeous. And I think that you're Barbie and this man is Ken. And then I started thinking about it more and I start rambling. I'm like, he needs to go to improv. He needs to study his craft and not ride your coattails and come to Watch What Happens Live wearing a dancehall queen blouse trying to entice Bravo Andy. Y'all, I didn't mean for it to go that far, but it started one way. But that's the thing. When y'all bring these men on and they embarrass y'all, that's what is attached to your legacy now.
Yes.
Now, the same Kenya Moore is a star. She's gorgeous. Miss USA, all of these things. But the fact that she's still attached to Walter, y'all always bring up Walter. She's still attached to that crazy ass bald headed man.
Yep.
She's
Matt.
still attached to crazy ass Mark, her baby daddy.
Yep.
Her legacy is tainted by these awful men that she brought on this show.
Yep.
Stacey's legacy is now tainted. Bose's legacy is tainted by this Keeley character. So we have to think about what we are bringing into a space. If you're going to bring a man on, please, please, please.
Get you an Eddie Acefo.
Get you an Eddie.
Even a Chris Bassett, even though I didn't like how he would sometimes in front of the people try to tell Candace about herself. Like, I feel like you don't do that in front of people. You do that behind closed doors.
Behind closed doors, exactly.
But at the end of the day, he still seems to respect her.
Yes.
And a lot of what these women are missing in their relationship, yes, is respect and being supported.
Right. And that's my issue. I didn't mean for things to go off the rails with Stacey.
Y'all, I was on that stage laughing. I might have even been crying the whole building. I was like, come on, Bonnie. Yes. Stacey was no, because tell the truth, Bonnie. I've been saying, tell the truth. After watching all season and Stacey play this a deer in headlights, what did you think when you saw her on that stage? And
Stacey is very much in control.
Come on.
What's her sign?
Aries. She's okay. Remember, she's a day after me. Her birthday is the day after me.
That's what I thought.
She know what she's doing.
I'm also a fire sign. So I'm just saying.
What's your sign?
I'm a Leo.
Okay. Fire.
Okay. July Leo. So Stacey is very much in control. I said this before and I'll say it again. I only think that a smart woman can play dumb. A dumb woman can't play smart. And that's how I feel about Stacey. She plays into a role, but I think she's very smart. Now, I think she does some questionable things, but I think overall she's very much in control of what she wants to do, how she wants to come off, her image.
Yes.
So yeah, Stacey, I got my good eye on you, sister girl. But I still want to see her. I would like to see another season of her on this show and how she navigates this group. I think she's going to have a time up against Wendy and up against Karen and Jazelle.
Because what did we miss? The way that Jazelle was coming at her at that reunion, did we miss something? And also, let me ask you this. Oh, I love your mug. I'm a mug lover. For those of y'all watching.
This is from Brown Girls Do Ballet. Are you familiar with that company?
No, it's gorgeous.
It's a nonprofit organization that was founded by one of my friends called Brown Girls Do Ballet. And they just highlight Black and brown girls all over the US and give them like scholarships and point shoes and classes and opportunities and all kinds of things. So yeah, check out Brown Girls Do Ballet and please support her. Please support the founder.
Amazing. I'm a mug girl. It's like sometimes I have to hold myself back. I just love mugs. Me too. I express myself through fire signs. We have to get our energy out and express ourselves somehow, even if it's through my drinkware, even down to the glass that I drink out of it. It goes by my mood, like the mood I'm in. So Brown Girls Do Ballet. We will definitely be checking them out and supporting them. And I want to ask you this, because I've seen different conversations. You have the one side that says, listen, y'all, we know this is a reality show. It's also still a job. We want people's authentic lives. We also know that people, now that we've been in this game for how many seasons has OC been on? 18, 19. So we've been in this game a long time, right? That was the first Housewives franchise. If we find out that Stacy was paying TJ to pretend to be her boyfriend, would you then say, I don't think she should come back? Because I've seen people say, look, we just find out more about Stacy, but so what? Let her come back. But then I've seen other people say she shouldn't be allowed to come back because she was lying about her life. Where do you fall in that category if we find out concretely that what was happening?
I feel like if we find out concrete that that's what's happening, bring her back and let's drag her, but let's let her make her coin. And I still want to see her. Something about what she brings works with this dynamic.
Yes.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I almost feel like she's kind of like a bridge because she's on the older, seasoned and married. She's had children. She's had life experiences differently, but also she can still hang with the Kiarnas and the Jazzies of it all.
So she's kind of like a neutral player in all of this. And I realized that in her playing up the kind of ditzy kind of, like the Rose Nyland kind of, right? She really leans into that. So it makes people feel like they can trust her. It makes people feel like they can really open up to her. So she'll act like she doesn't know what's going on, but she's going to ask it in a way, well, Karen, why are they, saying these things about you? And you get what I'm saying? So I think that works for this group because she is disarming. And we need somebody like that as a go-between to get information to kind of pull things out of these women. Because outside of that, Ashley ain't got nothing going on. Jazelle ain't got nothing going on. No. We don't see enough of Wendy's family life, in my opinion, which we should be seeing that. We're not really seeing a lot going on with these ladies. The storyline is the conflict with them. It's not their lives. It's the conflict. So I think she's great in that way. She actually works. She's the go-between. She's kind of like Mercury, and she knows how to different spaces. And that's why I really enjoy Stacy. She knows what she's doing. She's brilliant in that way, actually.
When you said because she's able. Do you remember a couple seasons ago when Wendy, rightly so, cussed Jazelle from A to Z? And we saw, before that season started, we saw in a trailer Jazelle and Ashley having the conversation about Wendy's body and Eddie and the alleged cheating scandal. Then we see them have the conversation again, basically Jazelle trying to give that information to Ashley to come out. So we can see them at work versus Stacy. You saying that brought up a good point. Stacy already knows how to get the information out there in a disarming way. Like you said, Karen, why are they saying you're a drunk? Like versus saying, versus Jazelle running it through Ashley and then Ashley, so that is very true. She's disarming. A great
filter for all of this information to come through. She's kind of like, she softens a lot of the venom, the vitriol kind of on the show. So she makes it palatable, I think, for them to share information with each other. It's interesting because it's like Mia can be kind of vicious, but she is disarmed completely around Stacy. Right?
Yes.
So Stacy is great in that way.
And it's crazy because Mia is a character that I've never, I try to say, I try not to say I don't like these people because the reality is I don't know them, even though some of them you feel like you do. So I try to say I don't see it for, but there are certain women throughout these franchises that I'm like, wouldn't even ever want to run across your path.
Like Bryn Whitfield. We're not even going to go down that road.
I just got hot.
We're not going to do that. I
just got hot. But now I have to do a side note to that. Size. It's funny when people didn't like Sai, I liked Sai. And I don't follow her, but her IG account came across my time. You know how it's like and suggested. So I clicked on it. There was a picture of her, and there was a picture of her and Uba. Then it was a picture of her, Raquel, the newbie,
Okay.
her, Raquel, Jenna, and Aaron out. And then it was a picture of her and Jessel.
Oh.
And I said, oh, they sending a message.
Yeah.
They are sending a message. One that I hope is received by Bravo.
As they should.
Yeah. Okay. Ooh, child, that's a whole. Okay. Oof, with
I didn't mean to trigger you, sis. I really did.
You said I felt it in my soul. I can't because I've worked with white women like her.
Me too.
And I know what I said when I said white women like her. I don't need y'all to tell me what she is. I know what I said.
We don't claim her. We don't. So
I know what I said. But with oh man, I forget what I was going to say about Stacy. But while we're here with Stacy, let me ask you this: did you see Vivian's response to Stacy?
I sure did.
Baby.
I sure did. Let me pull it up right now.
I want more of Viv.
Me too. Let me pull that thing up right now.
So while Bonnie is pulling it up, for those of y'all that don't know or haven't heard, there is a clip circulating that's going to be, I'm hoping it's happening tomorrow night on part 2 of the reunion, where they're asking Stacy about her relationship with Vivian, and Wendy reveals that Stacy said, F that B. And at first Stacy tries to deny, but then Jazelle catches her up because Jazelle says, well, Stacy says she was upset because basically Vivian put her in a dress that Ashley Darby had already worn. She put me in a dress that my colleague wore. I elevated her to sponsor this event. So Giselle's like, oh, that's why it's F that B. Stacy says, yes. She's dead to me. What was funny is if you catch Kay saying, that's the Stacy I roomed with. So if you go back and watch that clip, because remember they roomed together in Lake Norman. Kay says, that's the Stacy that I roomed with. So they all know, which makes me, now that I think about it, I wonder if that's why Jazelle was coming at her like that. Because I want y'all to see the real Stacy, not the Stacy that y'all think y'all are getting. Right. But anyway, so Miss Vivian said,
authentic.
Yes. Come on, and bring it home for us. What did Miss Viv say again?
Now, Miss Vivian said, thanks, Jazelle Bryant, for asking who elevated who. The delusion of it all. Stacy is quickly unraveling her fraudulent self before our eyes. Stacy begged me to exclusively sponsor her event to elevate it. Her words. By the way, I introduced Stacy to the RHOP group. This is how she thanks me? Shaking my head. Lying Stacy begged me for that outfit. I originally custom made that outfit for Ashley for a casual collaborative event. I offered Stacy another gown appropriate to her event, and she insisted on Ashley Darby's outfit. Even showed me a pic of Ashley in it. My staff was present at the time of the conversation. Hey, Stacy, you returned all the gowns smelling funky, shaking my head. Everyone will see your true color. Hashtag fake, hashtag phony, hashtag fraud, hashtag the lies. P.S. Bravo, Andy. I love how you call me Viv with a heart face emoji. I'm sorry. Vivian ate that. She chewed that. Okay?
First of all, the way you read that, I want that to now be put into the drama departments at NYU, at USC, because that dramatic reading, I love it, because I feel like that's the spirit in which Viv wrote it.
Yes, she did. She absolutely did.
Now, I just have a question for you. Maybe you can help me. When this story first came out, I asked the question to the people. I'm going to ask Bonnie. And for those of y'all listening, I need y'all feedback on this question specifically. Did the ladies get dresses from Vivian and they were returned funky because Stacy did not dry clean them first? Or is she talking about Stacy's dress was returned funky? Because Stacy's dress ain't have no sleeves. So so then you mean it was funky from the body? Like, Vivian, I need more answers.
Hey, Stacy, you returned all the gowns smelling funky.
I lost it when I said that part. Oh, when we do our DMV link up, I think we should go by Viv's store. I can Google. It's probably not that far from Tally
Oh
Hill.
my God, yes. Are you kidding me? I would love that.
Yeah,
We should. I like Vivian's energy.
Me too.
I'm wondering, I do think that she meant that she didn't dry clean those gowns.
Ooh, and they were returned.
And I think too, with the shorts, even though it's sleeveless, maybe some of the sweat was dripping. Because, you know, like if you host an event, you get a little nervous.
Yes, that's true.
Sweating.
Yeah.
And so maybe it like dripped down into the dress a little bit and it came back a little bit musty. And Vivian was like, who are you talking to? What do you mean you elevated me? Because Vivian is very quiet. So the fact that she felt like, I'm going to go out of my way to make this comment. I'm sorry. That is a true diva.
Yeah, it's like I like how you said, who are you talking to? And I want to add, with you and your funky dress, like, how dare you?
You and your funky, musty dress. She called her musty, essentially. And I said, child, y'all better watch out for Miss Vivian. Now, the people are saying that they offered Miss Vivian a champagne flute a couple of times already, and she turned it down. Yeah.
Okay, because I know that her and Karen have been friends for years. Think back to the first season of Potomac when Ashley met up with Karen in a dress shop, because they even showed the flashback of Karen trying to educate Ashley, saying with this group, like her trying to bring Ashley into the group. Was that at Viv's dress shop? Because remember, they met at Viv's dress shop.
I think it was.
And then remember when Ashley and Charisse got into it, and Charisse was basically like, Ashley, I will drag you. They were in a dress shop.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that was Viv's dress shop.
I'm almost pretty sure it was.
Oh, Viv, I need you to take
I didn't remember, but the people are saying Viv has been around this whole time since essentially season 1. Yep.
So, and she did Karen's dress for the vow renewal, I think.
The people are saying that they have offered her this peach several times. I mean, not the peach, the champagne flute. And, oh, by the way, did you notice that this season, when everybody was holding their champagne flutes, that Karen was the only one that had an empty one in the promo? Did you notice? Girl. Yes, I noticed that the 3rd episode. A friend of mine pointed it out to me. I wouldn't have seen it otherwise. But Karen's is the only one that's empty.
Child, not them putting Easter eggs in.
Bagged her. Production is playing a whole game. Yes. Yes.
And this was before the conviction.
Yes. Production plays.
They are having a time. Can you imagine them back there cracking up in those editing rooms? Just, I would love, Bravo, charge a $50 fee for 4 hours, and we get to pick the franchise we want and go through unseen footage.
Yes.
You know,
I would also love a little bit of behind, like an after show behind the scenes with production, because sometimes I want to understand their angle. I want to know why they chose certain, like with Kyle, right? I don't know if you clocked this in Beverly Hills, but when she was saying, I just want everybody to be honest or something, but they showed all of these clips of Kyle asking that everybody else be honest. Yes. And I was like, okay, that was a choice, because I think they're implying, Kyle, are you always honest?
And I think they're getting tired of her.
Yeah.
Now let's be, so Crystal, who was on the show, you know, she was on, and that's my girl. I love her. You know, she has a podcast with Cynthia, and Crystal has said it's made known that this is Kyle's show. When you come on the show, it's made known. Now I'm going to say there is a old audition tape, I think, of Garcelle floating around where basically she's like, I'm gonna come after Kyle. Also, when Lisa Vanderpump leaves the show, Erica Jane says, Kyle, they ask who's the new queen at a reunion, and she says, Kyle. They very much want us to think this is Kyle's show. Kyle is the most beta alpha. She thinks she's an alpha, but she's an actual beta. So it's funny that you picked up on that, because I think production is even like, okay, we over this being the Kyle show.
They've had it. Yeah. You can tell they've had it with her.
Oh, that is
a little after show with production would be so fabulous. I want to know, like, why they chose certain flashbacks or why they chose to not display something. Because you ever watch a movie, or like back in the day, like when we had DVDs, they would give us like director's cut.
Yes.
So we would get to like hear from the actors and the PAs and everybody involved in the production. Reality TV needs a director's cut.
That's a good. I watched this show called, oh my gosh, on Max. I cannot believe I'm forgetting with the lady that used to play on, I'm forgetting everything. What's the show of the ladies? I don't believe it. Designing Women.
Okay.
There's a lady that used to play on Designing Women, Jean Smart. The show on Max. People are probably screaming at me with Jean Smart. It is such a good show. It starts with an H. I cannot believe I'm forgetting. Hacks. Hacks. Yes.
Yeah.
They do that. At the end, they have the directors and why they chose to do certain scene. And there was a very moving scene at the end of this last season where the girl who was once a writer for her, like they've become friends, and she won't hire her for this position. Like now that she's got this talk show, she won't hire her. And I was watching it and crying. And when they do the director's cut after, they break down the scene and how it came to be and how it was pretty much improvised and how the people behind the cameras were even crying, like, and this is a scripted show. So yeah, it was, so I would very much love to see that. Like literally after every episode they do a director's cut, like you say, a breakdown with the three writers, and one of them is also an actor on the show.
I love moments like that because if you are so deeply connected with it, watching, getting that context for something that like emotionally pulled you in or what, like it's so important. And I love that. I love hearing when something is like improv. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like it makes you feel that much more connected to it because it wasn't a preconceived notion. It like people are just in flow and they're just like letting those emotions kind of like take them where they need to go in the performance. That's what I think we watch these things for.
Yes.
You know, that's why we saw like that magic, the miracle that happens in that moment where you feel you're about to cry and it washes over you. That's what we watch for, you know?
And it can't be, some of them, because it's reality TV, can't be scripted. But then when the scripted moves you like that, because you bring up, so you saying that, we have one that was a movie, Denzel Washington, that whole, I'm gonna have cases on all y'all, like that scene of him
Training Day,
that whole thing was they just let him run with it. Yes. You talk about a director's cut, how they feel in the moment. I would, and I hate to bring this back up, but since we did talk about it a little bit earlier, that episode of New York with the whole Bryn and the Uber thing, and it being, because you could feel the heaviness through the screen. So what was that like? The production and everybody being there, seeing that, and then finding out that it wasn't how Bryn said it was, what that must have felt like, not for the cast, but for production behind it. And immediately, they're creators, even though they may not be getting on podcasts or YouTubes, but they're creators with their cameras and with their storytelling. So is it going through their mind? How are we going to tell this story? Are we just going to let it play out? Like, I would love to know that. So that brings up a good point.
Yeah.
We need a director's cut.
That was so dark, that Roni episode. I tried to rewatch it and I started to feel like so anxious. Yeah. And I was like, no, I had to cut it off. And then
I had my notes.
Part 1, and then I couldn't even go and watch part 2 and 3 because just seeing Bryn's face and the way she was crying, I was like, oh, she's going to just play the victim. And I can't sit there. I can't sit through that. And I wanted to, I was like, oh, this is going to be a good coin for my channel. But I was like, listen.
Let me tell you, I don't see how people hate watch things, because people say, oh, it's just a show, don't let your emotions get involved. Let's be real. Especially something like that. My emotions, I am a fire sign. I feel every emotion throughout my entire body.
Yes.
At the highest level. So for me, I had my notes and everything for part 3. And I just never sat down and recorded it. And like you said, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, you're missing out on money. Yeah, because I know how well the other ones did. And I was like, I never even, and I even thought about it last week to be like, is it too late? And I was like, like I didn't even.
Right.
So I feel you. Like I can't imagine like that. I wonder if there's going to be Bravo cameras at the sentencing in case she to see whichever way it goes so they can
Yeah.
include it. Now, y'all, I will go and get the footage and I'll sell y'all mine.
Well, now the thing is, they start filming for Potomac in the spring, like during cherry blossom season.
Right.
So they're probably going to catch it. Because when is Karen's sentencing?
Wednesday.
Oh, it's Wednesday.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if any cameras will be there just to see,
Yeah.
or if they're just going to pull footage from the internet and include it.
I feel like they're going to be there because, it's about to be March. They're probably going to be filming soon. So they're probably like, let's bring up the cameras now. I think that they would be crazy to not go down to the Montgomery County court and, see what all is going on. Yeah. So
Yes.
I'm almost pretty sure they're going to be there. They're going to be in the building.
Now, do you want Mia back?
If Mia goes, the thing with Mia is I can take her or leave her, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
Now, the thing about Mia and it's selfish and it's silly, but I did enjoy seeing somebody take Jazelle to task. Now, I didn't like that her daughters were the casualty of war.
Yes.
I didn't like that Mia went that route, but I did enjoy seeing Jazelle in a little bit of a hot seat.
And
now,
apologizing
related to her daughters.
Yeah.
But Jazelle is never in the hot seat ever. Like, she is always the one terrorizing folks.
Yes.
And to see somebody giving it to her and like she was kind of stuck and stuttering, I was like, okay, this is good. Like, Jazelle needs to feel that feeling. Now, her daughters should not have been involved. I did feel very sensitive about that. I feel very sensitive and protective over younger Black women, younger Black girls. I just feel like so many situations I've been in where an elder has mistreated me for no reason. And it's like, girl, I didn't do nothing to you. Like, why am I getting all this venom? So it's kind of like that. It's like, Mia, girl, they don't deserve any venom from you.
No.
You were out in the streets doing whatever you were big enough to do at 19, and you were allowed the privacy and the space to do that. And I feel like these young girls should be allowed the privacy and the space to go through their things, their relationships, their sexuality, their whatever in private.
Yeah. I agree.
That's my thing. I don't believe in calling young Black girls fast or hoes or anything like that.
Come on and say it.
It's a way to sexualize them and overly sexualize them and hurt them and demean them. And they're put in impossible situations from very young. I've heard so many stories about younger girls like developing fast or whatever. And it's like, oh, now you're fast because your body has advanced past you and your, actual maturity level. And now you have this label and now you're sexualized. So it's so many things wrapped up in that, that I'm just like, we need to be very, very, very careful about the language that we use about each other, about young Black girls. It's just certain things that I don't go for.
That's
the thing that I'm like, okay, I can't really get with you on that, Mia, but I can appreciate that you took Jazelle to task, but the method, no, I can't agree with that.
Yes, it's like she stood on business, but it was like, oh, did this have to be?
It didn't have to be that.
Yeah, because we've seen others. Wendy, when she cussed her out season 5 and was holding her ground, but then eventually you getting iced out. So it's like, with Candace would come for her every time, and when Jazelle couldn't handle it, what happened? Candace gets a tap, tap, tap. So it's like, so finally, and I think that they didn't tap, tap, tap Mia. Because Mia, unfortunately, her storyline was the one that was focused on this season outside of Stacy and TJ.
Yes.
I do have to say, I said it's either psychotic Jesus jugs or Mia is trolling. When Andy asked her about her divorce and she said, oh, and for those of y'all that don't know where that's psychotic Jesus jugs, because on the Real Housewives of Orange County, Tamra said to Alexis had big boobs, and Alexis said something crazy, and Tamra just screamed out, "That is psychotic, Jesus jugs," because they called her, because she always talked about Jesus and Jesus and Jesus and Jesus. Alexis on the show, she was a Christian, and then she had big jugs. So Tamra, I'll have to send you the clip. So Tamra
Not
yelled to
Jesus
her,
jugs.
"This is psychotic, Jesus jugs." So that's where that was a good line. So,
Okay.
but I said Mia is either truly diabolical or she's trolling. When Andy asked her where she's at with her divorce, and that woman said, "All we have left is to sign the papers." Now, if you were telling the truth, when all those women around you were like, "That's not true," like, "You're lying, that's not true." The same way when they told her she wasn't a good mom and she was crying and this and that, she
Right.
didn't respond when them ladies called her a liar to her face. She just
Mm-hmm.
sat there.
Just
I
sat
said,
there.
"Mia, not you sitting on this stage telling a bold, bald face."
It's not even a good lie. That's like you. I would feel like somebody who lies this much, they would be good at it, but you're not even good at it.
Which means you lied just to be lying. And like when she said that she didn't know that Stacy texted her. See, when you tell me your point of contact slash person of color, because I thought she meant person of color, and I was like, "Is
They
that something
do.
new?" I didn't realize like what had
Right.
your phone. It was on your phone, so they had your phone.
Girl, what are you even saying right
Like
now?
I said I would be pissed if I drove across town and somebody didn't show up and I didn't hear from them. They
Correct.
flew to Miami.
They spent money on a flight and hotel.
I it there is a part of me, again, I've never seen it for me yet, so I would be like, "Oh, if she didn't come back, great," or whatever. It more so for me was when the whole thing with Dr. Wendy, when she was trying to pull, when she straight up lied and said you had an affair with Peter, then had to turn around and admit that she was lying. I was like, or when
Yeah.
she said Chris Bassett was looking at her, and then she came back online and apologized to Candace and said, "I was sick and frail and pale, and that's what I meant," but they took it wrong. It was like,
Yeah, Mia can go. She can
yeah,
go. She
so
can go.
that kind of stuff, I was like, eh. But
Yeah.
then there's a part of me that's like, she will drag Karen by that wig
Yeah.
from Surrey to Potomac to Baltimore.
Yeah. She's not afraid to go against Karen,
Yeah.
as everybody else seems to be. Now, the thing with me is she doesn't really stick to her guns because
Yes.
they call her a bad mother and then she runs off and she starts crying. It's like, girl, why are you running off to crying in the bathroom?
Stand
I
in
hate
it.
when she does that. Just
Yeah.
stand in it. Stand in it, girl. Like if she could do that, she would be sickening. But it's like, girl, now you want to run away.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
Because if you're gonna be the villain, then just be it.
and that's the thing about Jazelle, whereas
Yeah.
I don't really care for her, but
Yep.
she stands on it. And imagine being a Jazelle fan right now. I know Jazelle fans are so satisfied because she
They're like,
stands in
"Oof."
her shit. Yes.
They're like, "Thank you for the break, sis. Thank you." But don't be fooled. We know.
Right, right.
I don't believe 80% of what Jazelle says.
Yeah, she
And
lies.
she lies, and it's funny because, I think people forget when you are on TV, whether it's reality TV, whether it's a TV show, whether it's a movie star, there are people in real life that know you and that have conversations.
Right.
So the episode that Jazelle talked about, I think it was Puerto Rico. She went to Puerto Rico with a gentleman, and he wanted to leave, and she said, "Hey, you got to pay this bill." Watching Kempire live about Potomac, and someone called in and said, "So actually, I'm from the area. I know both families." And that's not how it went. He actually left her there. But because his family had such a good standing and was well known, they didn't want it to get out and be embarrassed that he treated her that way. So the parents made him pay for it. But he had actually left. And she said how he still wants me to this day. They said he has been off of her, married happily with children, but he didn't want her then. So it's stuff like that. That's like,
See, now when she told that story, I said, now Jazelle, is that what happened?
that's right.
Okay.
So then you hear, and it's like, again, we either know people adjacent to these people, or we know, like, oh, like that's not true. I know
Right.
that or whatever. So then you hear her say, Stacy, aren't you starting a Happy Eddie line? And I said, I would. Oh, well, side note, we also have Ashley saying we know Jazelle adds sauce, AKA lying. And even Andy has now
Right.
called it sauce. But I did believe by the look on Stacy's face. What do you think about the Happy
Yeah.
Stacy? I said, ooh,
Yeah, I think so. And I'm of two minds, right? Because here's the thing. If my friend, and I'm not saying that Stacy and Wendy are friends, but I'm saying if I have a friend that I'm, close to, and she has a press on business line, and I'm gonna start a press on business line, I think most people would tell the friend. They'd be like, "Hey,
right.
girl," like just so that it doesn't look.
Yes.
I think it's just like one of those things, right?
Yeah.
But I don't think that Stacy and Wendy are friends to that degree. So if Stacy is starting an edible line or whatever like that, I don't think she necessarily owes Wendy. I'm start because Wendy doesn't own that corner of the market. She
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
invent, excuse me, Eddie didn't invent edibles. So, they would be competitors, but it is what it is. Like Stacy can do whatever it is she needs to do for her business. I think it's an odd business venture for somebody like Stacy. I wouldn't think that. Maybe she uses it to relax herself. Wait, I'm sorry. My little security thing is going off. Do you
Go
mind if
ahead.
I turn that off? Because this is
No,
going to
go
drive me
ahead. Go
crazy.
ahead. Nope, you good. I'll pause it real quick.
This meeting is being recorded.
And she didn't even want to say that she took it when Andy brought it up, who here has participated. And she just said, let me just say, Eddie's going to be more successful than, instead of
Right.
saying she took it. I, I
I
was
noticed that.
wondering that too, because we often say move in silence, even sometimes if it's your best friend, move in silence. And there's been different ideas that I've had and was like, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And I've texted myself. And then somebody that I know doing the same thing will come out with it. And then even down to interviews, there's been certain housewives or different people that I said, I've made a list. This is who I'm going to ask to come on. And then you see it on a friend's podcast and you're like, wow, are they going to think that I took the
Yeah.
idea? But it's like,
Yeah.
I've been working on this. So there is that element too. Like, is it
Hmm.
something you've been working on and just never said
Right.
anything? I'm like you, though. I do believe I would say, hey, just so this isn't weird, I am
Yeah.
also doing this as
If
well.
it's truly a friend, I,
Yeah.
I believe that it's okay to say like, hey, I'm doing something that's kind of, in this space as well. And I didn't want you to feel like, weird about it or anything like that. I think that that's okay. But I don't necessarily feel like Stacy and Wendy are friends or
Yeah.
that Stacy owed Wendy like, hey, I'm working on this business. Because when things are in that space of it has not bloomed, it hasn't blossomed into a flower or a fruit yet, you're gonna water the seed quietly and just like let it do its thing quietly. I think evil eye is very real, and sometimes people don't mean to always
Yes.
evil eye you, but sometimes sharing too much prematurely can put a damper on your own thing. So I do very much believe in moving in silence in certain situations. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. I will say, I thought I cracked up when Jazelle said, when she starts it next season. And then when Wendy said, Stacy, you're not doing that and didn't tell me. And Giselle said, I just told you.
Giselle had Giselle had a couple of zingers this season, actually.
Yes.
She made
Yes.
me laugh a couple of times, and I said, okay, all right, Giselle. I didn't give her as much of a hard time as I usually do.
Same. Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but I was like, damn, I don't know if Giselle is all the way there in terms of likability for me yet.
Yeah.
But I could stomach her this season.
That's how I felt. And I've learned I'm going to enjoy the moment
Yeah,
without
yeah,
taking away from the picture that I have of you. Like even with Mia, as much as when I tell you I would stay on her head, but it was such a small thing, but it was funny to me when they were at Stacy's strut for pups or whatever it's called, child. And they were confronting Karen about what she allegedly said about Wendy. And so Mia is on her phone and Karen and Wendy looks back at her like, listen, everybody present and accounted for, raise your hand. So Mia's like, raises her hand and she says, girl, what you doing? She said, ordering a dog bed, and they just start laughing. Like little things like that I can appreciate because they are what forms the connections. And I do believe, for as much as I think that Mia came after Wendy because the Green Eyed Bandits were not and she wanted to be
Yeah,
in that, because I do believe that Mia actually likes
I
Wendy.
think she does as well.
And I believe that's why she came for it. So yeah, and I will say, I don't know. I was going to say I don't know what the. Let me ask you this: how do you feel about them keeping the same cast? Is there anybody you would add, take away? Is there anybody you'd want to see promoted to full time? Is there anybody who is full time that you would say, I don't want you to necessarily go, but I would like you to be a friend of?
I think we can cut some fat here.
Come on, yeah.
I don't think that we necessarily need Ashley Darby here anymore. I don't think that she's necessary. I really, really don't. I think we can keep everybody else. I would like to see Sharice. I would like to see Big Reese come back because she is such a thorn in Karen's side, and she's really one of the only ones who really gets Karen together.
And gets her going, yeah.
And gets her going, and I would like to see more of that. I would also bring back Katie Ross.
Ooh, child, can you imagine?
The chaotic nature of Katie Ross. If Ashley's going to stay, bring back Katie Ross so that she can get on Jazelle and Ashley.
I didn't mean to call you dumb. I probably meant you were stupid.
She ate that. She knows she ate that. I still say that.
Ashley was like she could not believe it. Was so funny.
She gagged her. She gagged her. Okay. Yeah. So I would bring back Katie Ross, even though I know that, it's a little bit touch and go with her right now. I think we could benefit from another older woman on the show. I would love to see Vivian on. I don't think that she wants to be a part of the show, but I like when Karen brings people in. I like the older women. Yes. I do. The younger women, I think, my best friend said this, but they're a little bit too aware. They are overproducing themselves. Whereas the older women like Jazelle, Karen, they're not checking for social media. I don't think they really give a damn. So they're kind of checked out on that side of things, and it allows them to show up as their true, authentic, delusional selves.
That's very true, because Giselle's been getting heat for the last couple of seasons, and I think only the talk from the network was what made her.
Yeah.
And it's just interesting how Andy says to Wendy, I have to say, basically, we saw a lighter side of you, and then brings up Jazelle and Wendy making up that must be a relief. And I'm thinking, Jazelle was the heaviness, because Candace was willing to move on even though she said she's dead to me, she still was participating in all of that. Wendy was still. So it annoys me sometimes when the network, it seems like, still trying to protect her a bit. Like, it had to be, girl, she was the one that was holding the grudge.
Correct.
So
she was holding the entire group back.
Yeah. I would like to see.
No to Robin. Yeah. No, thank you.
Well, so it's funny because I was thinking that same thing. Like, I don't need Robin back. And then on the flip side of that, Robin would probably drag Karen. But the thing is,
I don't think she did a good job of dragging Karen when she was here, though.
Well, I was getting ready to say, Karen knew how to flip it on Robin. Mm-hmm. At BravoCon, the Potomac panel, we knew some people who was in the back with Robin, and Robin was pretty much crying after Karen got done with her. Yep. So Karen, within minutes,
she's going to wear her low. She's going to wear her loose.
So while Robin may get her licks in, the bruises that she would leave with from Karen may not be worth it to her.
It's not going to be worth it.
So it would be interesting if Sharice came back. I really like Kay. I could see her in a friend capacity, though. Like, I don't need her holding a friend. Yeah, like
that. But she doesn't need to be full time. We've seen enough. We didn't see much. We saw her man dragging her.
Ooh.
Which nobody wants to see that. It's just always sad. It's always a complaint. It's always
Yeah.
a kind of humdrum kind of spirit. We don't want to see that.
Did you see? Did you
It's
see
just
where
odd to
they?
me that she's bringing that dynamic here and she's not aware of how it looks. That's odd.
Right.
Yeah.
Which to me
Yeah.
goes back to no matter how much people think they know reality TV, a lot of them have said this. You may think you know until you get in here.
Until you get in it. Yeah.
And then it's how production decides to tell the story. So
Hmm.
it may not have quite happened that or those things happen, but the way they tell it makes a difference. I
Right.
heard that she moved out, like they moved into the new house and then she moved out. So it's like,
Now, remember, did you see when she was on Watch What Happens Live, like maybe a
yes,
month and some change ago?
yes,
So was she still moved out then? Because when Andy asked her or asked Greg Uggams McGee, you know, what's going on with the engagement, and he said, we're working on it, which we don't know what that means, of course,
yeah.
but
What does that mean? Either you want to get engaged to someone or you don't.
correct. I think she should take it as a blessing in disguise, because she's willing to entertain or entertangle her life with this man, and he clearly just wants her to be his maid. He
Yes.
doesn't want her to be her full self, and if she's saying I have to dim my light to be around you, if you have to say it out your mouth, then you know that it's a thing, it's real.
Yes.
And then he's saying, well, I don't dismiss you ever. You're dismissing her right now, though, sir.
In the moment, in the literal, instead of saying, wow, I never saw it that way. I'm sorry you
Right.
felt that way. No, I don't.
I'll try to be more mindful of how I come across going forward. And no, I don't do that. Totally denied her experience and her feelings.
In the moment. Can you hand me a
Yeah,
tissue as I'm crying in front of you?
had to ask for it.
Yeah, like, sir, what are you missing? Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
almost threatening her, like, you won't get this last name. And the family in on it too when they showed
yeah,
them. So it's like, I can imagine, you know,
yeah.
but her spot is not far from me at all. And I said I was going to support a black business and go there and get I can never remember the name of it, but
Girl,
dermaplane
we need to take our day trip. We need to
and just do a full day
yeah, we do. We do. So
because
let
she's
me
not
know
far
what
from my
weekend
house
we got open coming up so we can go.
and do the things. Literally
Yeah.
20 minutes. I actually got into an accident like right near someone
Oh
ran a stop
no.
sign and ran into me. And her shop was like right on the like literally right there. Yep. I
You're
remember when it was
kidding.
first coming. Yeah. Yep. I
Oh
remember.
my
Oh,
God,
yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So it was a young boy. It was his third or fourth accident. He was like, I hope my car is totaled. I think I'm going to get I forget what car. And the cop was basically like, he better hope he can get insurance after this. Like,
Oh my
it was his
gosh.
fourth one, ran
He
a
don't
stop
need to be driving.
at all. I often wonder about him. Like, did he get, I forget what car he said he wanted, but I was like, this is your fourth one. You're on your, and then of course he was on his dad's insurance, I believe. So then they tried to lie. But it was like, nah, like there was
Yeah.
witnesses
Oh my
there.
God.
Yeah, I was minding my business and bam. And it was literally right. It's a bad, the spot that it was, they've seen so many, they were like people coming over from the hotel because there's a hotel there also. And people were like, we've been telling them they need to do something with this because it's a
Yeah.
spot where one of those things. Child, I was almost inside the Chase Bank. If I didn't know how to handle my car. Boom, but I'm a Jersey girl through and through. So I was like, I got
Oh
this.
my
But my car
God.
jumped the curb and three of my tires jumped the curb and was headed right into the window. So I
Please
managed to be
shut
able to
up.
move my wheel. And then I ended up jammed alongside of a fire hydrant. And I didn't panic. Like it was almost like a movie, like because I've been hit before, rear ended,
Yeah.
but it was like a driving.
But you
Boom.
took control. You knew to
Yes.
take control. Yeah, 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 yeah.
And to follow the way of like the tires.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
grandfather, he owned a barbershop, but before that, I think this is when I was a baby because I don't remember this. He was a tractor trailer driver, and I'll never forget my grandma and my pop told the story of how they were on ice and the car was slipping, and he knew how to go with the flow of the wheel. And my grandma's name was Maddie, and he was like, yeah, I was handling that, Maddie. So I always think of that in my mind. If my car starts to follow the wheel, like don't try to go against where the wheels
Okay.
are turning, like with
Yeah.
the car. So, but it was just the instinct that took over, and it wasn't a panic. It was like, dear God. And I'll never forget when I finally managed to slide, because I would either had to crawl across my passenger seat, but I was able to kind of wiggle my way out of my door. I get out and I'm looking at my car. And the guy in that office, he's on his phone, and he's like, had his phone to the window like this. And I said, he's probably telling somebody on the phone. Child, she was almost in my office.
I'm
It
so
was
glad you're okay. That is
Thank you.
insane.
When when something has happened in your life, do you ever go back in your mind and be like, was that real? Like, did I
Yeah.
actually? But
Yeah.
the pictures didn't look bad. Like, I sent them to my husband, and he was like, oh, okay. Then I guess he looked at them again, or I sent more, like a different side, and he was like, oh, that was actually like an accident. Cause it didn't
Yeah.
seem, whatever. But I say all that to say Kay's place is like literally right there. And it's next to a black owned uh restaurant as well, and a Dunkin' Donuts. So it's in a really good area. So when Wendy got
Okay.
that flat tire, I said, I know exactly where, like, I'm in that area every day. So we need a
Yeah.
trip. But yeah, I'm not a reunion girl, because I feel like nothing gets solved. Like, people bring props that could be good, but because they can't always get explained and they've been there for hours, like
Right.
nothing really gets resolved. But I actually enjoyed the reunion,
Same.
and I'm looking forward to this one.
Same. I think that part one was a great start. I'm looking forward to parts 2 and 3. I never feel like they can always like fully cover everything that we need to cover. I don't feel like Andy is a very good host. I think he is biased, so he doesn't ask the questions that need to be asked to certain people, and he'll kind of go easy when we don't need him to go easy. It's like, we need
Yep.
you to ask a question and be like real for a second.
Yep.
But I'm enjoying it, and I'm like, okay, the fact that the reunion is delivering,
Come on.
whereas the season didn't deliver, but for SLC the season delivered, but the reunion didn't. That was so odd. It's so odd, right?
So if you had to pick, which one would you take? Because I would take the season delivering and the reunion just being like blah, or like, because there are some people that won't
I
watch
want
the
a
season.
season. Give me a
Okay.
season. Give me something to work with. The reunion is like an afterthought. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine, and we always look forward to it, and we always expect some type of dramatic type of stunt to happen. But I want a good, solid season. SLC delivered on that. The reunion was lackluster, so I was disappointed. It kind of was what it was, but the season itself, I'm cherishing that.
Me too.
The funny moments, the humor. We want that.
We want, like you said, the funny, the real, like the humanizing moments, and also the moments.
The
Yeah, they had
vulnerability.
Yes, we had
All that
all
stuff
of
with
it.
Mary and her son, and then we had
Baby.
Angie opening up about the situation with her mom. We had
Yes.
some like really deep hitting stuff
Yeah.
on SLC.
We did.
And all of the women came in and they played their part. There was a lot of comedy with Brittany and Meredith and Angie, and everybody did what they needed to do.
Everybody.
I think. Even Lisa's not my favorite,
Child,
but
same.
Lisa made me laugh out loud at times.
Yeah.
I think they're all unintentionally or naturally funny in some ways, and that's what I want to see. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? With Potomac, I feel like they're almost a little bit too aware of themselves.
Yes. And because even with SLC, Lisa is aware of herself, but I believe that's who she authentically is. So she's being real. Like,
She's
even though it comes
delusional.
Yes. So it's like, it's not this facade that she's playing. Like, that's really her. Even down to, even though we don't know these people, but even Angie, to me, I even look at her in an even more different light, because the way that she could have read Mary at that table, because I believe that Mary was wrong for the way, because going through something does not excuse that
at all.
But the way Angie chose to humble herself in that moment and say, I want this friendship. To me, that gave me a different view of Angie, like in friendships, like, okay, I don't believe this is just for TV. She clearly, truly loves Mary.
She does.
You know, and I loved, not that I love to see it because I felt like Mary, I love what came out of that. And now that Mary, you're clearly aware of that. It was also interesting to me, though, her as a pastor saying, or as a believer, right, saying, you don't truly get over those things, which I can agree to that, but also is, for me, prayer and therapy. So I don't just believe, and like, I
Right.
don't like when I consider myself a Christian. What I don't like is when people use that as a weapon or as a way to discourage even Western medicine, because sometimes you may need to take medicine. Sometimes
Yep.
I ask people that suffer from allergies all the time. So and asthma, when you get to sneezing and wheezing, do you just pray? Or do you get that
Right.
inhaler and you get that Benadryl and everything else?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I feel like, Mary, you have a responsibility, first of all, as an adult, as a reasonably thinking adult, and as someone, it's just such a bigger message. Like, now you have this platform, you have a pulpit, talk about it. How these are the
Right.
things I've suffered through, and let's go to therapy and get these things
Correct.
worked out. So
'Cause
I
you
appreciate
lashing out on that lady, it just seems so unwarranted, so
so
unprovoked,
and so
and the
quick.
situation was so small and so quick, and that scares me. Like,
Yes.
if you can emotionally pull out from me that fast, and I don't know what's going on, and I'm completely unaware, that triggers my abandonment issues, because I'm like,
Right.
oh, that means that there's something in the environment of our friendship where you couldn't come and tell me that something changed
Mm,
for you. Like,
that's
and we should be able to have those conversations if we're really friends. Like, because my friends, like, those are, that's my family. Those are the people that my heart chose, those are the people that my soul chose. So
mm, yeah.
I need us to get right with each other for real, because in a lot of ways, I kind of almost expect blood family to kind of treat you in a certain way because they can. I expect that from family, but from my friends, I kind of hold them at a higher caliber. So I expect you to do things different than how
Yeah.
my family treats me, because I
Yeah.
chose you to be here in this space with me.
Wow. And you chose to be here with me.
And you chose to be here. You chose me too.
Wow. Yeah. I, she pulled back so quick, which also gave me an insight. And I love Mary.
Me
I've,
too.
but it
But
gave
that
me,
wasn't okay.
it wasn't okay. And it gave me insight to why sometimes people may have made tiptoe probably around her because they just don't want to deal with
Yeah.
all of that. But I'm a firm believer. Now, I don't have to do, like, I would rather, I would rather not deal with somebody, whether it's family or friend, than have to do that. Like, because that's
Right.
too much emotional labor and work. So I'm so glad that they were able to come to it. And I hope that, Angie said Mary's friendship helped her. I hope that Angie's friendship helps Mary, or, see things
Yeah.
differently.
Same.
Also, we know that Mary is definitely watching social media as well, because you notice she kept saying, I was clocked in, Andy. I was clocked in, Andy. And I said, that is what we use. Like, so and so
Right.
clocked in, so and so clocked in. So I was
That's
like,
true.
I was clocked in, Andy. I was like,
Well, she seems like a person who is not all that engaged in social media, but
uh-huh.
I think she might have heard us because, people have complained over the years that she's so disengaged. And
Yeah.
that season where she just sat in the bus and she was eating McDonald's, it's like, girl, you didn't have to come here and film. You know
Yes.
that, right?
And
Like,
that was hard, because it's like, Mary, I like you, but you wrong in that. Like, but
right.
did, when 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 she would do her mitten, like, get away, like, get away from me. Like, I was like,
Mary is so unintentionally funny, and that is a big part of the reason that she has mass appeal.
and with Black folks, because hello, the aunties, the grandmoms in our communities,
Yep.
that is them. They say whatever because they
They
were like,
say
I'm not
she
gonna
has
lie to
no
you.
filter.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
be honest. And that's why the girls couldn't take her either. Heather said, we say it behind each other's back. Mary's like, no. I like when Mary said, tell me your truth, even if it's ugly. I'd rather you tell me your ugly truth than tell me a lie.
Right. Right. Right.
So, and she ain't changing, because when they asked her if Heather still looked inbred, I said,
She ain't lie.
she,
That's what I think. That's a part of the reason why it hurt, because hello. Listen.
Well,
Shout out to Mormons, honey, but we know how y'all get down over there. We know what it is, honey. We know what it is. So
even I found myself, even though Whitney was another one that I just made me like sick to my stomach, but I was able to enjoy all the ladies in a capacity. This
yeah,
when she was pointing them fingers, these two. I'll never forget that. Yeah. Don't you point your finger at me.
Great. That was great. I said everybody was clocked in.
Yes.
Even though we didn't get to see in depth everything that was going on in people's lives, their conflict with each other was the storyline, but they made it work. Like all of these moments and all of these instances and the high body count hair and Meredith's bat mitzvah, like you can't write.
No, exactly.
It's just their chemistry. It just works.
Yeah.
It was a fabulous season. I got to give the ladies their 10s.
And what I want to encourage the new ladies is be yourself, because my concern is that two newbies that we've seen come into two different franchises, the crowd loved them in the beginning.
Yeah.
Child at the end. And I'm talking about Bronwyn and Stacy.
Yep.
Two great, I believe they were both phenomenal additions, but kind of floundered a little in the end. Yeah. So I would like to see them come back. Be yourself. Don't
tell the truth.
Yes.
Tell the truth.
Yeah.
Stacy didn't need to bring TJ on here. I think if she came with AJ, her friend, the gay guy.
Yes, I like AJ.
And they kind of did like Stacy is dating. She's getting back in the street. So they're showing her dating all of these different guys. I think that would have been a great angle for Stacy. And then you have your gay bestie in tow, and it's because he's fun. He's funny.
Yes.
We wanted to see him and laugh, and he brings like a nice humor to the situation, a nice levity. And you can tell that Stacy is more at ease with him as well.
Yes.
Like she's letting herself be who she is because they know each other from back in the day. So he knows a different side of her.
And he could bring that out.
Yes. And I would have loved to have seen something like that, as opposed to this man, you're paying him to mistreat you.
And to be so bad at being a partner. You could have had a partner come in and be like, okay, we're going to play the whole waiting till marriage type thing, and played it like, to me, I just think about when me and my husband started dating, and of course you have that thought. Well, I ain't gonna lie. Listen, being raised in church was the only reason that I was like, wait till marriage, because I could have did a date one. That was just me.
Period.
I did not. But it's like, if we had decided, it still would have been hard.
Right.
He wouldn't have been pressing me away like, I'm not going to sleep with you. Like, I definitely would have been able to change his mind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like,
of course.
You didn't even have somebody come in acting like giving off that they wanted you.
He's supposed to be on your body.
Yeah. And then y'all fighting together. Nope. We said we're not going to do, like, I want to see that kind of tension. Right. Show people, because there are people out here that are celibate. Some are struggling, some aren't. That would have been great to see that. But, how are y'all dealing with that? Going alone on dates, going to the crash pad, all of that stuff, as opposed to him being like, no, thank you. Let me go touch the trainer.
No affection whatsoever.
None. No. But then you cried because you want her to spend more time with you. And then even she looked shocked, was like, oh, are you crying?
You cried after telling her that you want to go to her house because now that her husband is not there, now you want to be in this lady's house for some reason. And you want her to tell people about you. But just weeks ago with Jazelle, you wanted them to know that y'all are not in a relationship and that you refuse to touch her. You wanted to illustrate all of the ways in which you will not touch her. You will not be sexual with this lady. And it was like, okay, we got it, brother. Like, we get it. You don't like her. But the switch up, you're not even a good actor. Like, what?
You said, okay, we got it.
Okay, you don't like this lady. And so it was just really disturbing to see her being treated like that, and ultimately her being okay with it. And then to learn that she allegedly, potentially is paying for this.
Which also makes you wonder, go back to the depths that people will go to be on TV if they want.
Yeah.
Because you knew, a part of me feels like she knew that he was going to come across that way, but that also meant she was going to be the talk. Because she would even say things like when she said to him, Jazelle says that you're probably like the ladies think that you're probably sleeping with someone else. Like there's certain things you wouldn't say, almost like with KR and Greg. There were certain things
Right.
you wouldn't say because it was like she was like, I know you don't want to discuss this on camera, but I feel like after meeting her I was like, oh, so you're willing to look like a fool because it puts you front and center. You are topic of conversation. Everybody wants to know about Stacy and TJ. Are they or aren't they? Are they and aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's
That's
going to
just
bring
wild
you
to me.
back
Like, why are you willing to look like a fool
for
just to
TV. I
be
feel
the
like,
topic of conversation?
let's think about this. The rumors came out that she leaked, because remember when Kempire asked her that she leaked her own joint, and there were like DMs shown about her leaking her announcement to the Housewives, like, can you leak this that I'm going to be on here? And I don't know if you remember that, and Kempire was asking her about it, and she says, and Corey, he was watching from the audience, but I'm looking at her like this. And so when Kempire asked her, I love that he just went there and asked the question. And she says, I've worked in TV, like with media. She never answered the question. She said, so me leaking my own announcement. And I said in the mic, after she said she worked in TV, she knows how this media thing works. I said, so if somebody were to do it, you would be the perfect one. Corey said, and he said, I don't know if you caught the look. She was like, so she never fully answered the question,
Right.
which is, to me, you do that when you want question, either when you're trying to deflect or you want to keep the conversation going
Correct.
around the subject. So I was
She
like,
is
Stacey
so
knew what she was doing.
calculated. She is
Yes.
very calculated. Please do
Yeah.
not underestimate her
I
for
said,
a second.
now I'm looking forward. I can't believe I'm saying this. I'm looking forward to next season because I want to see,
Me
like,
too.
because she could be in conflict with Jazelle, with Ashley, and I
Wendy.
like when Ashley said, oh, you can't play. You guys are hazing me. And I don't even care for Ashley. She was like, when you be saying stuff too. And I was like,
She does. She does. I believe that Stacey can hold her own.
me
I
too.
don't think that she is some like helpless damsel by any means. I
Either.
feel like she can hold her own, and I want to see Detroit. I want to see Detroit, Miss Thing.
Same. I just want them wigs to lay a little better. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna leave it at that because I
You know
like.
what? I'm gonna give her season 2. She's gonna come back with a better budget for the wigs because the season 1 is always rough.
That's
So we
true.
can give her grace
Yeah.
on the beauty supply wigs for season 1, and then she's gonna come back season 2, and then we're gonna be able to see her part.
You're
And
right. Because we know budget could have been an issue no matter how rich because she ain't paid TJ. So we know that.
that part, and she ain't got no job outside of that. So
right.
yeah,
And we know that she got child support, not alimony, which I learned also from Kempire's channel. A lawyer came on and said the way she did it was smart if she was going to do it that way. Meaning, if you don't add child support, you can't at a later date come back and add it. But with alimony, you can. So she's added I'm sorry. If you don't add alimony right away, you can't then come back and ask for it later. Child support,
okay.
you can. So she's getting her
Okay.
alimony. And if he starts not paying for Arabella, she then can come back and ask for it. But she would not have been able to do that with the alimony.
Okay, so I think things are gonna work out for her. Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I hope that's if there's a reason why she did it, I hope that's the reason. Like, all right,
Because
I'm
I
gonna
think that was
see.
kind of silly.
Me too. Me too. And then we know that Jazelle tells tales, but when Jazelle was on Watch What Happens Live, she said Ashley got a nice settlement. Ashley's richer than all of us, which makes me think Ashley, because she can't talk about it, she may not have gotten alimony. Maybe he didn't, maybe he agreed to a settlement amount because her not getting
Right.
alimony doesn't mean she didn't get a settlement. So I'm wondering,
Right.
did they get a settlement or not?
Yeah, that would be pretty fierce for Ashley. She should have something to show for that time with Michael. You know what I'm saying?
Child.
And not just child support.
Yeah. For them
So
kids, that's always feet never on the floor, but on an island.
they were on the counter the other day with their sneakers.
I said,
Now I know Black folks be having the kids on the counter because sometimes the kids do be on the counter.
yeah, like
but
I remember when mine were little, yeah, but not with, yeah.
like, girl,
My son hopped
Yeah.
up on the island like some months ago. My husband sent me a picture and said, your son, he have no shoes on.
how old is
And did
he?
that. 22.
Okay. Oh wow.
My only son.
Sometimes I can't believe that you have grown kids because you look 22 yourself. You
I'm gonna
have
kiss
such a
you when I
baby
see
face.
you. Just be
You need
ready.
to start the skincare routine, by the way. That's what you need to do.
You about to make me blush. Okay. Nope, I'm not.
I said what I
We walking
said.
around like this all day.
Skincare routine,
Same
sis.
for you. Same for you. Same for you.
Oh, child. Thank
Listen, you
you.
look like you're in your 20s. It could be on Summer House.
Thank you.
Yes.
I will
Wearing
take
them
that.
out. Wearing them out.
Thank you, babe.
You could have been on Martha's Vineyard wearing
You
them out. Yeah. Well, they might not have been able to take you. Some of them might not have been able to take you.
Yeah.
because-
Yeah.
You would have been like,
I
nah,
think-
see, this is not what we're doing here.
I think us fire signs, I think we can be a lot. I think we are well intentioned, but we
Yes.
don't we see things and it's hard for us not to call things as they are. And I think that's a little bit of the issue that people have with us because we're gonna say it.
Mm-hmm.
And people
Go ahead.
want you to say it and be like as upfront as we are with it, but I feel like that's just a fire sign way. It just is.
And if we don't say it, we will still treat people according to how we feel. And then they're confused. Like, oh, no, I don't trust you.
And I'm not going to be fake about it either.
No, and I find that it's funny because I find that intuition kicks in even watching these shows. I'll be like, mm-mm. And the next thing you know, people are like, and it's like, yeah, I told you my spirit did not align.
Correct.
So
Correct. I'm the same way. I'm the
my
same
husband,
way.
he is a fire sign. He is a Sagittarius. And I would always say, we're just so different. When I look at it, we're truly not. So I was telling somebody, it can either be really harmonious or a clash of the titans. And we choose to fight for harmony.
Yes.
Because if we get locked in a battle,
side you fighting on,
right? Like
fighting, let's be on each other's side, us against them, not.
And
us
that's what I
against each
said.
other. Yeah.
We don't want our fire to burn each other up.
Right.
We will burn up other people together.
Yes.
That's it. Bonnie, thank you so much for being here. Y'all already know.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, most people that I have on, mainly, I always want people to come back twice. So I know that Bonnie will be back
Oh, of course.
many times over. Now that we have established this and now that we texting and stuff, I can be less formal. Girl, you busy next week? Come on. I probably was actually because we had a rapport, I was kind of informal. Girl, what you doing on such and such a day? Are you available? But
no, I love that. No, I love that. And I prefer things that way, actually. So anytime, I promise.
And Bonnie, because you're are you in DC?
I'm actually in Maryland.
I'm telling all your business. You might not want anybody to know.
I'm in Maryland. But you're in Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like what people consider like DMV. I'm in PG, so.
Oh,
yeah.
so you're like depending on maybe an hour for. That's not bad. That ain't nothing. I can drive that in a day going
like 30 to an hour. It depends on where in Baltimore, though.
Okay, and the traffic and 695 or 495 and what time we leave and all.
Yeah. So let me know. We're gonna have our date. We're gonna wake up and have our little lunch, whatever. Our day about town.
We'll do one for the people about our Potomac hotspots, and then one for just us.
Oh my God, yes.
I have some friends who are in the podcasting space, and a couple years ago we went into the barn that Candace and Monique got into the fight at. We got some wine, and then we reenacted the whole thing. Yeah, it was fun.
Y'all reenacted it.
Yes. We had somebody being Robin. Monique. I think was I Monique chasing her? I might have been. Monique. We reenacted the whole thing. Fools. We did.
Oh my God. Yeah. We need to figure something out. So just let me know, especially like now that it's about to start getting warm again. I'll be out in these streets.
I'm a hot baby. Like I love the heat. I love the sun so much. Sometimes it doesn't love me and I get like the bumps and things. I could lay out in the sun and just me and my black girl sunscreen. I love that. And just,
Me too.
something about the sun makes me feel like there's hope. I don't know what it is, but
I think it's like a fire sign thing. I think it could be that. And then like we're born closer to the warmer months. So I just
yeah.
feel like it could be that too. But I am in my yard all day when it's warm out. And I just prefer my complexion like when it's summertime. I like to be a little bit more
Listen.
melanated, all of those things. Like I'm more of an outside person when it's warmer. So
listen, I started last year. I found out what grounding was, and I said, oh, that works. Because I went from I still pose sometimes, like if I find myself feeling stressed, which I used to never feel that way. But now if I find myself, I know how to breathe. But then being outside on the ground with my feet, it's like, okay, just breathe.
yeah.
I said, oh, this is real stuff.
Oh, it is. That pull, that gravitational pull from the earth, connecting you to the earth's core. We need that. We have to put our bare feet to the earth
And
to feel that grounding. Also for
about,
grounding, I was eating like a lot of root vegetables because I was feeling like
really?
very flighty. Yeah, so those root vegetables, anything that grows out of the earth is great for grounding. Beets,
Okay.
potatoes, sweet potatoes, anything that comes like
I'm a
directly out
potato
the
girl.
ground. Me too. Me too. So
Okay.
anything, yeah. Also, touching a tree, just being in nature, like praying outside, praying out loud. I love like
Oh,
grounding techniques. I'm big on that.
okay.
So yeah, we're
Well,
gonna figure something out.
I interrupted you because when you said you were feeling kind of flighty, so you started
Mhm.
eating vegetables that came out
Yeah,
of the ground, and you felt like that helped.
it did. It
Wow.
did
Okay.
majorly because I was just kind of at a time where I was like not trusting myself, not trusting my intuition, and like kind of questioning myself and realizing I needed so much external validation and asking like, oh, what should I do? And it's like, no, you need to be grounded in your own foundation. Like
Mm.
come back to yourself and root yourself in God and your ancestors, and we gonna figure this out. And then putting my feet to the earth and just saying my prayers outside out loud, incorporating more root vegetables in my diet, it really, really did help me.
I
So
love
yeah.
that. And so now, because my husband will tell you, there'll be nights he'll be like, "What do you want for dinner?" I'll be like, "I'm just going to cut up a potato and I'll boil it in chicken broth and have some salt, pepper, and ketchup, and that's my dinner." I am
Really?
a potato girl. People say potatoes. I am a potato girl. I love them so much. There's something
Yeah.
about potatoes. I love mashed potatoes, but I really love just getting a potato, cutting it up. My grandma would be like, "You hunking up." I'm hunking up that potato because I didn't cut them precise. So all my squares are different sizes.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I cut them in, put them in, I boil them in chicken broth like I do my rice to give it a flavor. That way
Oh,
I don't have to use salt and pepper, even though I will, but it already has a flavor to it. And
okay,
then I'll
yeah.
drop butter in the chicken broth, drop my potatoes, and then just let them boil. And then I want some now.
That actually sounds amazing. I don't think I've ever considered that. I think I want to cook my potatoes in chicken broth though.
Try it. Try that. And your rice, if you just want, I love the Lipton flavored rices too, like the chicken flavored. I cook all that in chicken broth.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
I tell you it is so good, but try it, that potato and that chicken broth. It's gonna
Oh,
give it a
you made
flavor
me
that you're
hungry.
like,
You made me hungry because I love a potato too. Like, and I love a potato anyway. Like, give it to me, fries, mash, um,
baked.
like a heart, like a skillet potato, like with
Oh
that nice
yes,
char on it. Oh my God, forget
yes,
it,
yes.
forget it.
I'm a
Like
potato
like a
girl.
good potato hash. Oh my God, I'm a potato whore. I love them.
Okay, so that is so funny. Oh my gosh, I love like the breakfast potatoes. Like when you go out to breakfast, and I'm like,
Yes,
I don't know what it is about my brain and different textures. I've had a
I need a
texture thing.
crispy breakfast potato. Okay.
I can't
Yes.
do. I prefer the potatoes over the hash brown because there's something like I'll get it like a McDonald's hash brown, but then the hash browns that
Yeah.
you get, I prefer a breakfast potato. And I know it's a texture thing. Like I
Because
don't like
there's the home
watermelon, don't like
fries,
banana.
and then there's like the kind of shredded like
Yes,
potato.
yes,
So it's a little bit different. And I don't know what each one is called, but then like there's like the home fries, then there's the hash brown,
yes,
then you got like I can't remember what the shredded one is called.
yes. But I know what you're talking about. I have to
I
be
love,
very
I love them
clear and
all.
ask. Are they
Yeah.
individual potatoes?
Right. Me at the diner, like, now what potato? How do you guys prepare these? That's literally me. Swear to God, because I want the texture to be a certain way. I don't want like all of these, the soft, but like in a certain context, yes, a soft
Yes.
potato, but I want a crispy breakfast.
It depends
potato.
on what yes, that's how
It depends on the time of day and what I'm having it with. Yes, so
listen, my wings, my mom doesn't like wet wings. I do. So if I decide to order buffalo wings, I always order a side of barbecue sauce and blue cheese. But if I go to a place like Lido's, I've learned to tell them, don't fry them because they'll put them in the oven so they're wet, but then they'll fry them. And I'll say, only one step. I
right.
don't want mine fried hard. I want mine straight out of the oven, wet and slick. Like it's just,
Okay.
I'm very
Listen,
specific.
I think Black people are very, very particular about the way we like things, and I love that. Something that I learned recently, another Black History Month fact, but um, a part of the reason that we do this fried hard thing is because, like, during those times, they would give us the leftovers and they would be spoiled. So we would fry it hard to cook out all of the, yeah. So that is something
Wow.
that we have carried with us for generations, which
That
I learned recently. Isn't that something?
isn't it crazy? Like the things that we still learn. Like
Mm-hmm.
my daughter says I'm afraid of dogs because of the trauma of our
Yeah.
girl. If I hear, I don't. One thing that I will just rather not go to. If you don't want to put your dog up, it's fine. Don't invite. What I don't like is for somebody to invite me and then say, they're okay, they don't bite. I don't think people get it. I don't
No,
care if your dog
no.
is blind, doesn't bite, and lays on its stomach. Me being around makes me
Right.
so nervous and anxious. So my
Put the
daughter,
dog away.
one time, this was years ago, I was jogging and I
Oh
had on a
no.
Tiffany bracelet. And you know how it makes the noise, the ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding. Girl, I was coming up a street and I heard ding, ding, ding. And instantly I heard dog chain. And I like literally was almost crying. I was like, oh my God, I can't see it. I don't know where. And normally, like, I'm not a cry baby. Like weird things make me cry. Things that that people would be like, "Why are you not crying?" I don't cry, but then other things, it's like little things. So I'm jogging, coming up the street, and the street was uphill, and I hear the jingle, and I'm like, "Where's the dog?" So I remember looking to my left, gauging, and I was like, "In one jump, I can be on the hood of this other car." Like I'm
Yeah.
steps, girl. I'm running. My butt cheek is tight. The noise seems to be getting louder. I'm prepared to jump on this car.
Yes.
And then I came back to my senses and realized it was my bracelet. It was not a dog chain. It was not a dog collar. So
I'm thanking God that that was the story because you were about to make my nerves so bad just now. Like, oh my
the way
God.
you felt was how I felt running. I was almost in
Yes.
tears. Like, I can't find it. Where is it? It's going to come up behind me. I gauged the car. I'm telling you, I would have been able to jump in one swoop. And girl, something came to me. And I said, can you imagine if they had came outside and I was on
The
not the
hood,
hood, but the roof of their car?
like Sierra in the ride video. Absolutely. Sure would have.
Calling
Sure
Corey,
would
I
have.
need you to come get me. Y'all
Yes.
can call the police because I'm going to get off and get in their car. Like
That's
they're going to have
right.
to get, but it was my bracelet making the sound the entire time.
Thank God it was just
Yeah.
that. Oh my God.
One time me and Corey were jogging, me and him were jogging together and a dog got loose. The way your body remembers things, I'm on the inside. He had made sure I was jogging on the inside. He's jogging on the outside near the road. The dog was in the road. We had our headphones on and it was like my body felt it. So if y'all are watching, Bonnie, I look over, I'm jogging and I look over and he goes and points, like, don't scream, and points for me to go run that direction. Why did I not scream? But I made this. So I was like this as I'm running out the screen. But I made sure the sound didn't come out. But it was like my body had to get it out. So
It
I was like,
reacted. Yeah.
so because he was like, he knows exactly.
He knows
He knew
you. Yeah.
exactly how to handle me right then. So I just jogged off over him. One day he was out jogging, two baby pits. He said he felt something on the bottom, the back of his ankles. He just scooped them up. I said, I'd have been DOA. They would have found, y'all would have been, what did they say? Slow walking and singing and eating food at my repast. 'Cause I would have right there on my ankles.
Oh my
He
God.
loves dogs.
No,
Him and my
no.
kids, they love dogs. They can go somewhere. Child, not me. My mother-in-law, I don't go after my father-in-law died. She got a husky. They meant to pull sleds. You don't think they can pull me? No.
Tari, shut up. You are so silly. I have he's like a child Siberian Husky, Saint
Oh, so when I
Bernard.
come to your house, I'm gonna have to meet you outside. All
He's
right.
he's gonna be put away. We put him away. He's in his in my sister's room. We don't play that. Even if he was like a tiny dog, people feel the way they feel about dogs, and they should feel welcome in your house and not like, oh, the dog is gonna be all over me, whether or not it's friendly. Because sometimes people have friendly dogs and they're annoying. It's like, get your dog away from me. I
Like,
love dogs, but girl,
have you
put
seen?
it away.
Wait till you see these episodes with. Have you seen any episodes? Kyle has a whole bunch of dogs, and she'll have people at her house, and they be eating off
Yes.
the, or like Brown's dogs with Heather.
Eating
Ma'am,
off
they
the
eat.
plate and
Yes.
all over her. I'm like, that's crazy. And then the fact that she had pee and poop all over the house, I would never set foot in Bronwyn's house. That
And
is
don't
nasty.
and don't bring me no food that don't come out that's already boxed up because I
Period.
don't even know how many times you wash your hands. Because I often wonder, do you pet your dogs and then just go right to the kitchen? Like I,
That
because you know
part.
we're different, so I don't. I'm not.
Clearly, they have no boundaries. Like our dog, he knows he's not supposed to be in the kitchen. So there's like an invisible boundary that he doesn't cross because he's trained that way.
Do you have an open concept? So where
Yeah,
it's open, so do
we do.
we. So my neighbors, her kids just bought their dad a dog. Her and I were on the phone yesterday. Is either yesterday or the day before, and she was telling me, and I said, "Yeah, I saw your dog. He's so cute." But I said to the dog, I was in my car talking. And I rolled down the window. I said, "You were so cute. I don't like y'all. So, but nice meeting you from here." So like the husband's laughing or whatever. She said, "Yeah, girl, I'm in the process of telling him, even though it's open concept, you know better than to cross. Don't you
That's right.
cross in this kitchen." So it's
That's
so
right.
funny that you said
We don't play that.
we don't
You know
allow
how black
dogs in the
people are.
kitchen.
You know
Listen.
how black people are. Okay. So he knows his place. He stays out of the kitchen. He's a good boy though. He's good. But
Oh,
we put him away, and people should not feel scared or threatened or anything when they come to your house, small or big dogs, because the small ones can be pretty vicious too.
yes. And then
So
when I saw the way Bronwyn got tore up from that other dog, that even makes me even more nervous.
let me
At
tell
least
you,
with dog owners, I feel like you may know how to handle going in somebody's house with a dog, or if you see a stray dog, because you don't have an instant fear. With
right?
me, and I don't like being scared of things. I don't like, even if I don't know what I'm doing. So like there's two things, dogs and swimming. Yes, I'll get in the water and be cute, but I don't like fearing, you know what I mean? Like the
Right.
water. So that and dogs will take me to a whole nother place.
Well, we might have to take some swimming classes because that's something that I've been wanting to do, low key. Because
Ooh.
I was um I was on the phone with this guy. I work at a medical release company, but anyway, he was like calling for his records or whatever. And he was like, I'm in the army. He started going off on this tangent. He was like, I'm in the army, and things are changing with the government. Black people, get your stuff in order, learn how to swim. I was like,
Oh, wait a minute. He said, okay, we might have to
the
look
fact
into
that he
that.
said that, I was like, wait a minute. Okay, I might need to take a class or two.
Oh,
Like he
Bonnie.
specifically said that, and I said, wow, okay, yeah,
Okay, so I probably need to learn how to swim because
yeah,
I don't like the fact that I wouldn't be able to, again, not navigate something.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly. So we gotta face that. We gotta face that fear, baby. Let's
You know
do
what?
it.
We're gonna do it in
We're,
2025.
we're kicking it this summer, sis. I
Yeah, I
don't
was just
care.
getting it's gonna be on and popping. It's but listen, every time I think of the summer, I think of, well, how old are you, Bonnie?
I'm 37.
So you may know, boy, you should know that I got you on
Oh, mama, of
mine.
course.
That's the summer anthem. Like people say it was Will Smith, summertime. No, when I hear that song, I'm like,
Yeah, yeah. For me, that's when it's officially summer. Like now, the summertime is cool, but it's
okay,
never been one of my like jams. It's not one of my go-to summer
yes,
jams like that. Summer jam playlist is a good idea. I need to work on that actually.
yeah, because it's
Yeah,
like the sun is on you. I don't know why that song just makes me so like,
yeah. One of
I love
mine
it.
too is A. Marie, Why Don't We Fall in Love?
Yes.
Isn't that just like a good summer feel?
Yes. And I'll never forget. I was at the gym doing this workout. I must have played the song the video actually probably 6 or 7 times back. And one, A. Marie, this is one thing that got me tripping. You know, Black people don't never know
Yes.
the actual word, but we know the words.
Yes.
That song. And looking at her legs in that video, girl, I was on that stepper like,
Some yams, honey. Some yam. And she still looks great. She's working on music right now.
Yes.
So I'm really happy to see Miss A. Marie like trying to make her way back on the scene. But
yeah, she was so underrated.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Somebody
now,
said
saying that Beyonce.
That's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Saying that, you know, she came out in her heels and then Beyonce switched it up and she came out in her heels and took the, you know, the little go-go sound that she had going on.
That's what
I was so tell you that's what the people say.
The people say that. The people I was getting ready to say that her and Beyonce, A. Marie, and Rihanna and Tierra Marie.
Yep.
They say it was Tierra Marie and then Rihanna came and they switched them out.
Mm-hmm.
So, oh my gosh. Bonnie, we could be here talking for 6 or 7 hours. So please let the people know, if they don't know, where they can find you, follow you, what you have going on, all of that stuff.
Yeah, so I am on all platforms at Bonnie Scotch, Bonni Scotch. You can find me on TikTok. You can call me, find me on Twitter. I'm never going to call it X because I just don't acknowledge that. You can find me on Blue Sky. You can find me on Instagram, on YouTube, of course, youtube.com/@CasaBonnie, and chat with me. I talk to the people. I'm very interactive down in the comments. So yeah, come and find me. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Oh, you know, this ain't going to be the last time. So like I said, now we get ready to do a field trip. So
yes,
I'm telling you, I'm going to be reporting live from the courthouse Wednesday. I said, am I allowed to have my phone in there? I don't know. It's been a minute since I've been in anybody's court. I even down to the parking. I'm like, okay, where can I park? Only thing I don't know is how you find out what time somebody's thing is. So if I miss it, it's because of that.
I would imagine that it's probably like earlier in the morning, probably like a 9 o'clock. Like, I just feel like
me too.
Everything starts fairly early, like between 8 and 9 o'clock. So I feel like if you are there by like 9, I think you'll be okay.
I should be good.
Yeah.
So for those of y'all that want to support my gas journey and my lunch at Tally Ho, my Cash App is my first name, TARIA, middle initial S like Sam, last name F as in Frank, AIS as in Sam, ON as in Nancy. If y'all want to support me on my journey, that is the Cash App.
Yes. This queen, honey.
Gas is high. Okay. Well, actually, it's going down a little bit, so I'll give it that. It's going down a little bit.
It's going to go up again soon, child.
And they blame the administration. It's like, child, that is the cycle. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. If I see a 2, I'm going to shout at the pump and give God all the glory at the pump. If I see a 2. Y'all, thank y'all so much for listening. Make sure y'all go check out Bonnie. I will have all of her links listed. If you're watching on YouTube, her links will be in the comments pinned. I'm going to make sure I remember that. If you are listening via your podcast app, look in the podcast description. You'll be able to click right on to all of her links. We thank y'all so much, and we will talk to y'all later. See y'all.